Welcome to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurts on AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. Now, here are your hosts, Peter and CJ.
Welcome in, everybody, to the show that brings you ordinary sports talk in the face of extraordinary times. It's our guarantee to you.
Very much so.
It's what I like to call a reachable goal.
Yeah.
You know what I always say? Aim low.
Hey. I say the same thing. Aim for the dirt, so that if you miss, you don't have very far to fall.
That's beautiful. I think I was on a T-shirt. I think I was on the back of one of those summer camps
Yes.
T-shirts you get at camp.
Funny
Aim
story.
for the dirt. Aim for the dirt. That's the CJ
Yes.
CJ Hurt camp. Is aim for the dirt.
A real slogan of mine when I was a child, and it just came up with it on the spot after being verbally accosted for being just in general, a derelict, negligent, and trifling ass person, and being told not to say I don't know anymore because that was my go-to. Why are you so lazy? I don't know. Why are your grades so bad? I don't know. What? Stop saying I don't know. I don't know. Like after life being threatened by my 6'5", 240 swole father who was just out of the military, I came up with this gem. He's like, why are you the way you are? And it's like, listen, man, I just want to do as little as possible for as long as I can. Broke him. He had nothing after that. Like, wait, what? Huh? Why would you? I don't. Leave. Just leave. I need a minute.
That's beautiful.
I need a minute.
That's right.
So not much has changed. I should have hit him with the I aim for the dirt so that if I fail, I don't have far to fall.
That's right. Aim for the dirt. That's from CJ Hurt.
Hey, aim for the dirt and you won't get hurt.
Hurts dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Hurts dirt crew. That's your new. That's your new. If you have that little thing up at the forum where all the Grizzlies keep.
That's what it would be.
The
Hurts dirt.
Hurts
crew.
dirt. That's it. It doesn't matter what grade you get. You're still getting tickets. It doesn't, you don't care. Doesn't matter.
Did you wake up today? If
your
come get
mentoring
these
program. Yeah, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna hook you up with Elliot Perry, so you guys can get part of the
Cool.
mentor program. Your mentor is like, hey man, what'd you do today? No, nothing. Oh, great job, man.
Outstanding.
Did you study anything? No. Did you play Pokemon? Yeah, I played Pokemon. Oh, okay. All right, good.
You change your socks? No, that's fine. That's great.
That's fine.
Let's
That's
keep
fine.
it
Take
going.
a shower? No shower?
No shower.
Okay.
That's perfect. I got these tickets for you. Let's go.
It's beautiful. That's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of one of my favorite Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey.
Ooh.
He said, I hate to tell you, if you think that any weakness can be turned into a strength, I hate to tell you, but that's another weakness. That's true. I think that's exactly right. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Super
Sometimes it's just a weakness, and that's okay. I am indeed Peter Edmiston. He is the aforementioned CJ Hurt.
Hey, everybody.
And, of course, the third man in the crew. One of the Dairy Boys.
Mm-hmm.
Similac. Breast milk. I'm whole milk. He's chocolate milk. That's breast milk up there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he is the Baron of Not Sharon, Prince of Whitehaven.
He's similar to Zach, always on the attack.
He eats all them veggies. He's not got time to meet any more Reggies. He knows enough of them.
He takes all the shots. He's going to give you what he got.
He's going to eat that corn
Okay, here we go.
while he's tooting his own horn.
Oh, I see you.
That's right.
Oh, gosh.
Come on.
I really want to do something with burger, but I tried burger and it just doesn't work. My man carries a lot of cash, and he'll whoop your ash with moisturizer.
Oh, okay. He's going to eat a lot of greens.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to avoid meat by any means.
Okay. All right.
You got it.
Oh, come on, man. Give me something.
Don't, this is a long one. We got this one going. You got to stick the landing.
I got you. He's a deacon.
Oh, okay.
He's not going to be sneaking to get any of that meat. He'll take his oatmeal raisin treat.
Okay.
There we go.
I thought there might be more.
No,
I thought that was a limerick. I thought you were going for a limerick.
I thought so too, and then I stopped it.
There once was a deacon named Zach.
Oh.
Who wanted to send all that meat back.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to take all your cash, eat those veggies and dash. And I forgot what the first rhyme was.
I think landing has been stuck.
Yes, nailed it.
Yes.
Nailed it. Yes, perfect. He is none other than Zach Boyd. What's up, Zach?
What's going on, guys?
How's Rack City?
We're going. It's moving along. Like it's like slow progress, but we're moving.
You play more golf?
Not today.
Well, obviously not today. Zach, it's 7. You have to play at like 4.
Right. Well,
I meant like in the last 21 hours.
Did you play yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. I mean, I didn't mean this morning. Clearly, that would have been a real quick 18. You could have slid in there in the middle of the night
at 3:30 in the morning.
Yes.
I mean, Ray Allen did it. So Ray
Allen golfed at night.
No.
Well, what?
No, like didn't Ray Allen golf?
What does Ray Allen have anything to do with this? He plays golf. Ray Allen plays golf. I know that.
But when he went on the road, he would have played.
He'd play golf in the day. You're right.
Like early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He would have played golf early in the morning, so that he'll get the practice at 9 or whatever.
Yeah, this is 7.
Yeah, but this is 7 though. That's a whole 2 hour difference.
You don't have enough. You don't have enough.
What
time.
is happening?
Oh man, the Baron and not share never disappoints. He never does. I never know what he's gonna say, but it's always
Let's go, baby.
Perfectly, Zach. It's just perfect.
Oh, Texas are hopping in here. He can't say the word brewery, and he real big on wearing jewelry.
Oh, okay. Can you try it? Can you say it, Zach? Where they make beer?
I can't.
Just try it. Come on, you can do it. Just give it a shot.
Brewery.
Okay. There we go.
Say it faster though. One more. It's not 2 words. It's not a 2-word play.
Sound it out, baby. Sound it out.
Just put those two together. You got it.
Brewery.
Hey, that's okay.
It's close.
Okay,
It's
that'll
almost
work.
there.
That's right there. That was basically there. I mean, I'm going to give that to him. That's basically there. We've made a monumental improvement from yesterday. This is called practice. It's called hard work. Getting in the gym, getting your reps in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens right there. Dreams do come true. It's beautiful right there. USA, and all that. Good job. That away.
That's aiming for the dirt right there.
Have you seen Ray Allen? Ray Allen's hair, by the way.
Oh, is he still growing it?
Yeah, he got that quarantine hair working. I saw a picture yesterday. He's got a real what's my man from Good Times? That hair. Kind of
James Evans.
A little bit. We got a Sherman Hemsley from Jefferson's kind of thing working a little bit. We got it's kind of a balding mixed with a little gray.
Oh,
mixed with
he
makes him. He looks. Zach, did you see it?
Oh
no, I haven't.
Yeah, you
got go to his Instagram.
Yeah. He looks like he's about 10 to 15 years older. He looks like he looks like maybe a coach from school or like one of those teachers that just he's not having it with you.
Who was Keegan Michael Key's character, the gym coach? and on Mad TV.
Yeah.
That's what he's been mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. The what's his name? I know exactly what you're talking about. He looks like that.
Coach Hines.
Coach Hines. Yeah. No, that's exactly what he looks like right there.
Oh my gosh. Poor Ray. And he doesn't have to do that.
No, he doesn't have to do that.
He could, you know.
I mean, that's the thing.
Get the razor.
If he got the razor out, and
he'd be fine.
This is the conversation we were having with you, Zach, like 6 months ago or whatever it was. If all he's got to do is just take the clippers out, razor out, whatever, go do a CJ with that, and just take it all the way down, he instantly gains 10 years of
immediately.
No problem. I mean, 10 years easy, maybe 15. But that look right there ages him. He looks like he's in his mid-50s, which he may be. I don't even know how old Ray is. I don't think he's that old, but he looks like he's in his mid-50s. But if he shaves it down, he looks like he's maybe like mid to late 30s. Mm-hmm. So 20 years. I think he could get 20 years.
You say mid-50s. I say late 60s is what he looks like. Like Ray needs a cane to get around type of situation.
Why wouldn't he? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But hey, who am I to talk about hair growing during the quarantine?
I mean, you do look like a member of Rock City Group, The Whispers. Like really right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look like if we just put you in that group in the late 70s, early 80s, like you'd fit right in.
If I was just walking around in that video,
be like, oh no, that guy certainly fits. Yeah. He's got the fro and everything.
He's definitely part of the. Yeah, he's definitely part of the group. Yeah, there's no question about that.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Our buddy Ed says he says I look like a 70s soul singer, and he says my album should be called The Babyface Baby Maker.
Hey,
which I firmly am on board with that 100%.
I agree. Shout out to Ed. Because that is
Ed.
Right. 100% correct.
We could do that. I don't know if I mean babyface. I think that's kind.
I mean, you'd have to shave the beard off to get the baby face.
That's true. If I shave the beard though, it would be a baby face. So I think the beard needs to go with the hair. I think it's too much. It's too overwhelming without the beard.
Okay.
It's too much. It's too big. It's arguably too big anyway. But, I'm rolling with it, We'll just see what happens. It's exciting. It's exciting. It's different, It feels good. We're keeping good. I got changed up my some of my product, so we're keeping it nice and it's got a good texture, got a good feel to it.
Is it soft?
Yeah, it's very soft.
Good.
Yeah, it's real soft. It's I have some issues with the dry scalp, especially because of the weather can really wreak havoc on that. So I got to really attack that with some moisturizing products. But I get after it and try to keep it locked in there, and it's really working. And I give a lot of credit to my team, my stylists, and all those that are out there working and just kind of get me the product that I need. Thanks very much for all that, because it's hard. It's hard to keep it like this, but. We can do it. We could just say it takes a team though. Honestly, it's like a NASCAR. It's not just the driver. It's a team. It's a team effort to keep my hair like this.
I'll holler at my wife and see what she uses to moisturize her hair, and I'll let you know to help with that itchy scalp.
Yeah,
because
once
it gets to a certain point,
it's just a little bit. We got
dry.
Just a little dry, and it tends to. My hair is very thick, so if I use like some oils, like I've tried some different oils and stuff to kind of keep the slickness and moisture in the hair. But that can also then lead to some clogged pores because it's so thick that my pores don't have a lot of room, and then if they get, then that's that's a whole different issue there. So see if she's got something that's not oil based. That's a big that's the big one. If it's not oil based, then I can get in, take care of it.
Gotcha.
Leave-in conditioners, that kind of thing are great. So
yeah, she's got tons of leave-in. She just now it's gotten to the point where she doesn't feel like twisting it up individually each night, so she's just rocking this giant fro. She's got a spray bottle of leave-in. I don't know which leave-in. I'll ask her again. And she just sprays the hair, and it helps with the scalp situation.
Listen. I'm always open because it's always a constant fight for me. Just trying to keep that thing nice and soft and textured and all of that. And I like it. I like it. So I'm not gonna. I want it to look good. Now today, obviously, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Busy show today. We got our friend Adam Kramer coming up 8 o'clock, and Adam is really, as a longtime Iowa fan and observer of the program, he's got a unique perspective on the all the situation that's unfolded over the last week in Iowa with Kirk Ferentz, Chris Doyle, the strength coach, various other folks involved. It's a messy deal, and we're going to talk to Adam about that coming up. 9 o'clock, we'll talk to Kari Thompson. Of course, he is the preps writer here for the Commercial Appeal, and also just a friend of the program. So we bring Kari on to talk this, that, and the other. And as a Bostonian, I'm curious his take on the Red Sox and their rather, surprisingly frank statement about racism and racial slurs being thrown at folks in Fenway Park, and addressing the story that came out earlier this week that Torrey Hunter says he had a no-trade clause to Boston and nowhere else because of the racism that he encountered. He did not want to play there, and so he didn't care about any of the other 29 teams, but he did care about – there's 30 teams, right? He did care about Boston. I think there's 30.
I think it's 30.
That seems right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
It's 30.
Okay, let's just go with that.
We'll go with 30.
Anyway, he's got the other 29 teams he's fine with, but not that one. So we'll talk to Kari about that, because Boston has had a reputation, and apparently a well-earned one, for having pretty significant elements of racial slurs, tension, racists in the stands, people feeling empowered to be very vocal with their racism in a way that is not necessarily representative of the rest of the Northeast or other parts of the country. And so that seems to be a uniquely Boston thing. We'll talk to Kari about that. He certainly has that as a Bostonian or a Boston area resident for a long time and a fan of all those terrible teams. We'll talk to him about what's happening there. And we got golf going on still.
Hey,
about that.
Hey, tell them where Abraham at.
I didn't even look until now.
Tell them where Abraham at, baby.
I didn't even notice that.
Where Abraham?
Abraham and Sarah. Why is he wasting this now? Don't make it. Tell him to hold off till you can actually pick him for real.
Peter, greatness waits on nobody, man. He'll continue to be great. Don't worry.
Abraham and Sayre is in second place right now, tied with Johnny Vegas, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, 6 under par behind Harold Varner the third and Justin Rose. That is wow. Mm-hmm. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Abraham and Sayre.
Get it. Clarence Carter of golf, baby. He be stroking.
Whoa, man alive. I just gotta say.
And there was you acted like there was some doubt as to who I would take, if I would take Abraham or not. Abraham till I die, baby. Let's get it.
Man, that's incredible. Abraham, I didn't see it coming. Now he's probably due for just a terrible disaster around today, but I hope. But listen. I hope that's not the case. It was weird, man, because there's nobody out there and watching some of the. It's odd. It's very odd. Even golf without fans, and I didn't expect that golf would necessarily be, that strange without fans, because the fans are not as integral a part of golf as they are in other sports. But you're used to them being there, and more importantly, you're used to hearing them. Mm-hmm. Just kind of a general sort of fan reaction or some kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Even when players hit putts or whatever, even if it's just a little smattering of applause, to not hear it is very strange. So this kind of new reality of where we are with some of this stuff is it's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah. Oh, and it's only going to be more jarring as we get more of the sports back. So golf is one thing. Golf is a pretty subdued sort of fandom when you're on the course. Of course, you brought up the clapping after putts go in, or the oohs and ahs after somebody hits the ball really, really far, keeps it straight, or has a pretty good shot. But in basketball, where fans are more of an integral piece of the equation, it is going to be jarring when you sit down to watch a basketball game and there's nothing but the squeaks of the sneakers and the pounding of the basketball going on. When somebody can throw down a dunk and like there's no reaction from anybody but the team. Or when a team goes on one of those crazy like 15-2 type runs and a timeout has to be called to try and stop that run there's not going to be fans there to cheer the home team or boo the home team if the team was giving up the 15-2 run. It's going to be different sitting down to watch sports. And I wonder, I'm curious as to like how long we'll be paying attention to sports without fans, because that takes away something of the mystique of the event.
Yeah, I think that's interesting to see how that's going to play out, and they've talked a lot about also how they have to kind of have new protocols, about touching the flag sticks, about raking the bunkers, about grabbing clubs, about touching each other, just any kind of a high fives or just stuff like that. You have to be. Roy McIlroy said, stop, don't be out here calling in violations of this stuff like you guys do and everything else. Don't do that. Just be cool. We're doing the best we can. Now there are other folks. I know I saw Michael Collins, who covers the tour for ESPN, tweet out that there's a lot of players and caddies who basically are not doing any kind of social distancing or any issue, having any kind of a restriction whatsoever off the course. Like they're just basically flouting the rules. And so there's some concern about what will be the end product of that. But, we seem to have set our stall out that we're going to open this thing up and do whatever, whenever. So that's apparently doesn't matter.
Clearly,
seems to be the situation at this point. So, okay. That's what they've said. When we come back, we'll talk about that. Some of the ever-changing landscape of the return, and the NBA has not inspired a lot of confidence with this. We'll also talk about the emotional story from Lonnie Walker, the fourth, who had a haircut and a very meaningful one in the midst of all of this. And we'll discuss his story, a very powerful one, when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings. Peter and CJ with you in the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 Middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Do you have any idea why I never speak the way I am right now? It's because if you're honest, sincere, and knowledgeable, you do not need fast-talking, high-energy, gimmick-promising advertising to get a customer's attention. Speaking of that, how do you think companies can offer huge rebates and giveaways when you use their services or buy their products? By overcharging you in the first place, that's how. Fiveash Roofing doesn't operate that way. It's misleading and dishonest. When I provide a customer with the best products and the best service possible and do it at a fair price, why would I need gimmicks to sell it? Best products, best warranties, and best service possible. That's all we offer. Well, that and financing. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkhammer for Sunrise Chevy. Good news for new and used car and truck buyers. The Sunrise Chevy Ranch has a great selection of new and used cars and trucks, rebates up to $6,500, and interest rates low as 0%. At sunrisememphis.com, you can select your vehicle, get your trade appraised, arrange financing and delivery. We'll deliver right to your doorstep, disinfected and ready to go. No matter what your past credit, Sunrise wants to get you financed. Immediate financing with next to nothing down. Need service or body work? Bring it to Sunrise or schedule an appointment online. Find new roads to Sunrise Chevy, 385 in Houston Levy, Collierville.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Never had no problems, yeah. Burning down the one-night stands. And everything around me, yeah. Got to start to feeling so low.
Like I'm at a wedding. Like the song's been like every wedding.
Yes, I did.
Our jazz band would play this when we would run out onto the court to play basketball. This was the music we ran out to.
Really? Okay.
Several conversations were had
Interesting. Yeah.
by
that's
me,
interesting.
by me personally, like with the heart, like yo.
Mm-hmm. Like this is what
Other
we're
people
going
are running out with like Lil Jon or Eye of the Tiger or something. 8 Mile
much
was
booty in
big.
the pants.
Too much boot, donkey butt, head and more head. Like they're out there running out to that, and we got the jazz band playing
with.
some.
Dip, you dip, we dip. You know,
I'm saying, I saw that picture. Great, I need those. Not for $32 though.
Little high, I agree,
jazz band playing a really poor version of "Play That Funky Music, White Boy," and that is what we're running out to. It was a drum player, a singer, a guitar, and that's it. There were no horns.
Oh, well.
There were no horns.
Well, that's a shame. The question I have for myself is, why is it that when I want to simulate a trumpet, I go with two hands? Like, there's not. I don't know what this other hand is doing on the trumpet. Like, I got the one part up here but then I'm not sure what's happening down here. I don't know what I'm trying to do with this other fingers. This is not how trumpet works, I'm pretty sure. And yet, whenever I do my, it's always like I go straight.
Got to fiddle the trumpet, man. So one hand is to play it, the other hand is to fiddle with it.
Massaging, like,
yes.
just, like you're doing good, buddy. Keep going. A sad band is sad. That's a sad thing. When a band that's a sad. That makes you sad. That's a very bands can uplift you and excite you, but a bad one can be really bad. So we talked about the challenges facing the NBA. Before we talk about that, though, I do want to mention the Lonnie Walker story. Is he put it out there yesterday on his Instagram, and this one is a lot to think about. And if you remember Lonnie Walker, one of the things that you're always kind of you know him for is that big floppy hair that he's got up high and it kind of flops over, super long. And it just kind of looks wild. It looks like it's getting in his way when he was playing. Like it was just a unwieldy situation for him. But no one really knew the story. And he revealed it yesterday that he started to grow his hair out in middle school after he was sexually abused as a fifth grader. And from family, and it's something that is. It's a real problem that we as a country do not talk about at all, and it's a major problem in terms of the kids that are affected by this around the country. You're talking about 1 in 4 girls that are inappropriately touched, you're talking about it's like 1 in 6 boys, I think. I mean, it's vastly more widespread than we, because no one really wants to discuss out of all the mental health issues, out of all the issues going on, this is one that people just can't even bring themselves to confront because it is so painful. And so I give him like an unbelievable amount of credit for this. I mean, this is something that, you know, when you do this to a kid, like what you are doing to them is so awful at that moment, and it is even as awful or more awful for the rest of their lives. I mean, they continue to relive that over and over and over. It is a formative, changes their entire perspective on relationships. It is just an absolutely like nauseating thing. And man, so he's dealt with this since he's in 5th grade. I had no idea. He's a kid. I mean, he's what 11, 12 years old. And he has no idea what's going on, and with someone that he trusted, and you know, getting abused, and that shapes you. You're ashamed of it. You don't know what to. And so he said, well, his mindset was he was just going to control his hair, and that's not an uncommon thing with people who are in abusive households. You know, whether it's children of alcoholics or drug users or abusers, they control. They create little spheres of control, stuff you can control. One of the things you can, because they can't control anything else in their life. Mm-hmm. Can't control their family. Can't control the one thing they can control is, you know, my hair. I can control my hair. And so that's what he did, and it gave him something that he could do something with, and, you know, have total control, because nothing else in his life he had no control over. And so when he cut it, that was him saying, I'm ready to give up this control because I'm ready to confront this and tell everyone about this and talk about the work I've been doing, and you know, talk about what it meant to me and how I'm trying to recover. And man, that is so powerful for so many survivors and so many folks out there to see that story. I mean, I could not applaud him more for what he's done. He has done an incredible service for a lot of kids and adults out there who have gone through this. Big credit and props, and I wish him all the best. I'm a fan. I'm a fan from here on out.
You never know. That's the thing. You never know what somebody's past was, and this, I feel like, could be a one of those teachable moments from sports, to be more empathetic in dealing with people day to day and your daily interactions with them, because when we think about childhood abuse, when we think about sexual trauma, we immediately go to the little girl. Like, immediately, that is what we think about. We don't think that, this child, let alone this black child who was probably big for his age, is somebody who needs to be protected, that warrants our compassion, warrants us protecting him and treating him like a child, and making sure that we keep an eye out for him. And that's how things like this happen. So not only is it shining a light on sexual abuse and showing that, hey, it can happen to anybody, even the black boy who's big for his age, it should also shine a light on people being more empathetic towards one another. And you never know why that person is having the bad day and why they are reacting to you in a super negative way. It's not your fault. We take it personally sometimes. And it's very often it is not your fault. It has nothing to do with you or the situation. It has something to do with what happened to that person on this day in the past, or a memory popped back up. Lonnie talked about it. They've been battling memories of the trauma with the continued presence and continued stress of COVID-19. And it stressors bring out the thinking of those moments of trauma, bring them out really heavily. And so hats off to Lonnie. I think that is great that he's choosing to confront this demon publicly, because, like you said, it is an example for survivors of abuse, and shows them that, hey, even though you were abused, you can achieve something really special, and it doesn't have to define you. Lonnie Walker has always been that guy on the Spurs with the funny hair to me. And now he is a survivor of sex abuse and sexual trauma, and it's I'm with you, man. Going to be a fan of his for a really, really long time. Wish him nothing but the best and applaud him for coming out and speaking out the way that he is.
Well, and it was similar to I remember when Keon Dooling was here in Memphis for that short time during that I think it was 16-17 season when the Grizzlies had
all of the players,
everybody. But he was one of them, and he had a similar story about sexual abuse, and talked. It was open in public and discussing it, and I really appreciated. And man, it is such a big problem. That is just it's got to be the biggest problem that is not really widely discussed or known about, and it starts as a kid, and I mean we teach our kids. We've got books, specifically detailing that issue, and it's uncomfortable to read those books to them. Even at very young ages. We started with our kids at 5 or 6 or even younger. Just kind of, and there's age appropriate books out there that detail this. That if somebody tries to, here's what happens. You don't need to feel shame if someone tries this. But you need to make sure you tell someone. There are no secret. There's one book called "Some Secrets Should Never Be Kept," and people are so manipulative to these kids and make them think it's their fault if this is happening, and if you tell someone, it's going to ruin your family's life and it's going to be your fault. And so they not only deal with the emotional, the physical trauma and all that other emotional trauma, but then they deal with guilt about if they tell someone what would happen to their family. So they just have to eat it and live with it and swallow that up for years. It is a miserable existence for those kids. And so, man, for him to put that out there means so much, especially as a younger, he's only 21. So you don't see that from people his age that much. You don't see that. That he's done a lot of work, and this coronavirus stuff and the quarantine has done an interesting thing around the country. And I think it's caused all of us to reset a little bit mentally. I think we've all had to spend more time thinking about what's important to us and what's the work that we want to do and what are we doing in our lives and all that stuff. There's a little more introspection, and you're seeing some people come out of this with an introspection. I think you're seeing our country come out of this, or I don't know if we're coming out of this or what, but our country's dealing with it at this point with the reaction to the killing of George Floyd, the Breonna Taylor, these protests around the country. People are not willing to accept just sort of whatever now. People are. I think there's been time to think about what is really going on, and you see with Lonnie Walker, man, he spent that time doing a ton of work, and I've got an enormous amount of respect and appreciation for what he did, because he's helped more people than he could ever know by doing what he's done. Yeah, and it's childhood sexual trauma is something that's not talked about, because most of the time, virtually all the time, it is somebody that know. It is family or a friend of the family that feels like family, and that's why families kind of try and sweep it under the rug or try. It's something that just physically hurts you to talk about. Yeah. It's such a repugnant, disgusting, terrible thing that you can't. It's like you can't even bring yourself to even have that conversation with your kids or what, because you just you can't even conceive of it happening. It's just too painful to even talk about, much less when it actually happens to some of these kids. But you have got to do it, man. You got to do it. You got to have these conversations. It's same thing about talking to your kids about race, talking to your kids about sex, like stuff. There are age appropriate ways to talk about these topics with your kids, and it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be. One of the things we've talked about, my wife and I, is how to talk about these things with the kids. And I tell her every time, the way you talk to a 3-year-old about a topic is going to be different than the way you talk to a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 16, a 18, a 25-year-old. These are ongoing conversations that have to happen and should be happening regardless of age. But you have to talk about them in a way that is age appropriate for that child. So while it is difficult to discuss, it's something like you said, you've got to discuss and continue that conversation for as long as that child needs it. Just because you say it a couple of times when the kid is 4 or 5 doesn't mean that all of a sudden at 7 or 8,
I talked to them about at 4 or 5. Well, now they've got a different understanding of the world.
Absolutely.
And that 4 or 5-year-old, you can talk to them about it in a different sort of a more mature sort of way. And these conversations are big. They are really important.
Oh, there's no question. And that the thing is, CJ, there's certain things that we are vigilant about talking to our kids about. We talk to them about keeping yourself safe from strangers when you're out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take candy from strangers. Don't do this. Look both ways before you cross the street. Make sure you brush your teeth. All these sorts of things that we talk about. Taking care of your body. As time has gone on, we've gotten a little bit better about talking about sex and stuff with kids. But this one is one that we don't generally talk about. Issues of race, that's another one that we have trouble sometimes, I speak here to white people, of talking about in an open and, honest way. But the, potential for, sexual abuse, unwanted touching, that kind of thing is very real. And I cannot stress this enough to anybody out there with young kids and parents of young kids, and even as young as 3, 4, 5. There are resources out there. Please talk to them about it. Mm-hmm. Please let them know that it's something that you can see it coming, and there are things that even they can do at a young age like that. There are ways that they can control that situation. They can talk to somebody that it's okay. Don't let them tell you that needs to be a secret. Don't let them tell you that you can start to get that in their head, and you can start to get them to recognize those situations. And man, it's a vital skill. It's a vital thing to tell them, and to tell them it's okay to talk to that. And it's okay. And the other thing, let them know that you as a parent, it's okay for them to have those conversations with you. You're not gonna be judging. You're not gonna be out there freaking out. You're going to be there to be talked to, and you're going to be open for those. That means the world to kids to have parents that are open to having these sorts of discussions. So please do it. It's so important.
Yeah, and it's you'd be surprised how many people have been affected by that.
Yeah.
It is pervasive, and as somebody who's seen the ramifications and the results of it. It breaks your heart when you see the kid who's been dealing with that sort of trauma, and you watch them grow and try and function as a responsible adult dealing with this sort of trauma. It can be a lot for people to handle. It is a lot for people to handle. Mm-hmm. Just try and be more empathetic and be more understanding to everybody around, because you never know who's dealing with trauma like this.
67129 on the text line, 67129 on the text line. We'll talk about some more of the challenges that are facing the NBA. We'll talk to Adam Kramer coming up at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, Kari Thompson. Lots to get to on a funky Friday. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1. Don't miss us.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build your own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
Oh, whale! Guys, whale! Wow, whale.
Oh, that's a big whale. Okay. Whale. Oh, no, whale!
The tides can turn quick on the water. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Get a quote today in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com.
Well, at least it wasn't a shark, am I right?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hi, it's The Herd. Start your day with M-Drive Start. It's the world's best morning shake. New from the guys at M-Drive. Start is packed with elite-level nutrition and protein. Fires up your body, gives you the lean look we're looking for. Shirts coming off in the summer. M-Drive Start has an industry-best 7 clinically tested ingredients and 6 sources of protein to support energy, recovery, and lean muscle. It also includes digestive enzymes, collagen, vitamins. The list goes on. No other morning shake touches this formula. Get elite-level nutrition and protein so you feel great in the morning. Check it out at mdrivestart.com. You wake up looking for energy, you've got your product. And as part of the launch, the guys at M-Drive are offering 25% off if you sign up for their easy-to-manage subscribe and save. So go to mdrivestart.com, try it yourself. Elite-level nutrition. M-Drive Start.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Google or Alexa to play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurts. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Move to the music, got to shout and sing a thing. You got the groove with the rhythm, girl. Get slick and shake that thing.
Texas on the first bank text line are texting in. One texter says, we have a generation of hurting adults from suffering unfathomable trauma as a child. We must let them know they are not alone.
Without a question. And that's when you see, Keon Dooling say what he said. When you see Lonnie Walker yesterday, be as open and honest and just raw as he was. I mean, I don't, again, that's just not, it's not something that everyone can do. And but it really does mean the world to folks who are dealing with this. Mm-hmm. You just can't imagine what it feels like for them to feel so alone and disconnected. And issues of mental health in general, we feel this way. You feel like you're the only one who's dealing with whatever mental issue I've dealt with, serious anxiety issues and panic attacks and stuff like that for a long time. And, it feels like you're kind of in your own bubble. You don't know, but no one knows. Because it's, when you walk around with a broken leg, it's easy to see you got a broken leg because you got a cast on, you're limping around, all that. When you've got, a mental thing going on and you've got some mental trauma or you've got a mental issue, or you've got a mental health crisis, you can look just like this, normal face. But inside, it's a whole different thing happening. So we're not comfortable having those conversations and telling people, I need to miss a few days of work because I'm going through depression, or I'm going through anxiety attacks, or we're not there yet from a stigma standpoint. But the more we talk about it, and the more you hear folks talking about this, then the more we can start to have those conversations. Because it would make a huge difference to so many people.
Yeah, and you're spot on about you see a broken leg,
mm-hmm.
you see a sprained ankle, you see the physical issues, and so you to be empathetic there are certain physical triggers, like, oh, that person's limping, or oh, that person's arm is in a cast.
He's got a cut. That person's got
somebody who I would normally come up to and play fight with and pop him in his shoulder. Oh, that shoulder's in a sling. Let me not hit that spot. When it comes to a mental illness, be it depression, anxiety, or something else, you don't see that. And so what may have been cool at one point in time for you to do is now being met with a completely different reaction, and now you're just left thinking that person is tripping, or that person is just having a bad day or something like that, not knowing that, hey, they are actually going through processing through some sort of really traumatic event in their life.
Yeah, I think what you're saying there is, man, it's hard because it's easy for us to get mad at somebody else and think about what's going on. And when somebody cuts you off in the car and you freak out, and I can't believe it. I'm as guilty of it as anybody. It's I'm like, what are you doing? But if we take a second to think, like, man, what is this person going through? significant issue in their life, and give them empathy. And if we all took care of each other like that, man, we could just take the temperature down a notch on all these interactions that we have, and you can just cool it down a little bit, and I think that would be nice. It's hard because even though I tell myself I'm going to do that, and then like something happens, I'm like, and I just flip out. So it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of mental discipline and work, and you got to do. It's like anything else, man. You got a leg injury, you got to go to physical therapy. You got to go back, get back. Mentally, you got to do the work. It won't just happen. But if you do the work and you can get yourself in a better place. We talked about the NBA returning, and it still feels like, CJ, the NBA is just trying to kind of play this thing sort of just kind of make it up as they go along a little bit. Like we're going to get the date settled in, and then we got some other stuff sorted out. We're going to do the date, so we got the date. We're good, but everything else we really don't know exactly how that's all going to play out. Well, the date's different now. They're now searching for July 30th instead of July 31st. Number one, so we got to push that up a day. That's probably, if I had to guess, to accommodate TNT because it's a Thursday rather than a Friday. July 31st is a Friday, so maybe you're doing that to accommodate TNT. That would make some sense.
Yeah.
But the protocol for how this is going to happen is still an issue for sure. The NBA has said that they think that 14 of the 22 teams that are going to go down to Orlando will be done within 53 days of arriving. Only 4 teams will remain after 67 days. Now, if you want to cover this, CJ, if you want to be a media member covering it, here's what you got to do.
Okay.
You got to go down there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get tested. You have to quarantine and get tested. And then once you're approved and once you're negative and all that, you can get in the bubble. Then you have to stay in the bubble for 3.5 months.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to – that, by the way, is in the bubble in Disney, which is notably not cheap to stay in.
Correct.
But you have to stay in a Disney property for 3.5 months. Mm-hmm. On Walt Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And if you should leave at all, then you are done. You may not come back. Media members are not allowed to leave and come back the way that players and other folks are. So this tells me that precisely 0 people will be covering the league.
Correct.
On site in that capacity. Because no one, not even I guess ESPN probably might have like 1 or 2. But even they are not going to have – even they can't afford to send a whole lot of people into that situation. Nor would a lot of media people just be like, "Hey, man, that sounds great. I'm going to be away from my family for 3.5 months, potentially." Mm-hmm. That doesn't sound great. So that's a challenge. And then, by the way, CJ, did I mention that in Orange County, in Florida, yesterday, 128 new coronavirus cases, the most ever in a single day, 25 more than they saw on April 3rd, which was the peak of the first wave of the epidemic. So this is actually a higher number than we've seen. Now, part of that again is, testing is larger. So you have to consider that. But also the positivity rate is going back up. So that means that though you are testing more, the rate of positives is also increasing at a higher proportion of that number. So the medical director of Seminole County nearby says it is Dr. Todd Husty says it is coming back, and it absolutely has the possibility of coming back with a vengeance. This is a big deal, and it's getting worse. We were so close to 0. We were that close, and then we started opening up. This damn thing is opportunistic. So the NBA is going to just kind of go right into that whole deal.
Hey, got to get these sports, man. Got to make this money.
Wear masks, everybody, please. If we all wear masks, it will help. It is not – I understand it's uncomfortable. I get it. I got, one of my buddies runs a manufacturing plant, and his workers they got to wear the masks in an uncomfortable situation for 10 hours. It's no fun. 100-degree, manufacturing floor, but you got to do it. I get it. It's uncomfortable. But, man, this is something that it helps. It absolutely helps. There is a tremendous amount of data now coming out, 2 or 3 more studies this week that confirmed it. Please, I beg of you, wear masks when you're out in public, particularly in indoor areas. Please. Thank you. That's my public service announcement. We're in the Family Leisure Studios. When we return, we're going to talk to our friend Adam Kramer.
Hey!
Join us. Lot in Kramer's world, particularly as a big Iowa guy. You know, he's it's a lot to chew on this week in his world. We'll talk about that next. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
I want to invite you to come by the Spirit Shop. You know, that little log cabin on Poplar, your liquor and wine oasis. The Spirit Shop has been providing sports fans their beverage needs since way back in 1969. So come in now and get ready for the big game. Whether your favorite team wins or loses, the Spirit Shop will help you celebrate or ease that pain away. The Spirit Shop is open every day, and they're located perfectly at 4848 Poplar. That's the corner of Poplar and St. Nick. The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking, no telephone pole to get in your way, a cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary. Family Leisure's here to make staying at home more enjoyable for you and your family this summer. Complete pool packages starting at $15.99. 24-foot pools only $19.99. 4-person spas starting at $19.99. Swim spas starting at under $10,000. We are offering contactless purchasing, deliveries, and curbside pickup. Give us a call to schedule an appointment or to place an order. Stay safe with Family Leisure.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I hadn't heard this. This is good. I heard the Sly and the Family Stone version. I hadn't heard this. Who's this?
This is Sly. Sly.
Is this Sly and the Family Stone? Is
Yeah.
it like a live version?
This song is it's called "Thank You for Talking to Me, Africa." I don't know the.
It must be. I know the usual. Thank you for letting me be myself, but this is. I like it.
From that slow, smooth funk.
Very deliberate funk.
Mm.
Deliberate paced funk.
Yes.
If you will. I am Peter. He is CJ. That is our friend Similac Zach, a.k.a. the Baron of Not Sharon. He is bringing you the funk on this Funky Friday. It's not bad out there. A little, maybe a touch on the warm side, but not too crazy. Been pretty good weather-wise this week after we got through some nasty stuff early in the week where we've been pretty good. Humidity's a little bit on the lower side. Not too bad. I think it's going to be okay today, although we're going to start creeping back up here pretty soon. We've talked a whole bunch about the return of the PGA Tour. It's in progress right now. Harold Varner III was tied for the lead and triple bogeyed his first hole. Not good. So one fewer person to deal with for your buddy Abraham Ancer right now. Although Varner has gotten a birdie back, so he's back to 5 under par, 2 shots back.
Still behind Abraham.
Still behind Abraham Ancer, who is the
-6, baby.
Presumptive winner of this thing. We talked about the challenges facing the NBA and so many others, and we got some different challenges as well. And we're going to bring on our good friend Adam Kramer, who joins us now. He is, of course, the lead college football writer at Bleacher Report, bleacherreport.com, at Kegs and Eggs on Twitter. Adam, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm better than my buddy who's got a nice wager in on Varner, and I had not heard that. Yesterday he was doing via the old text messages. He was getting pumped. He was sharing his ticket. We were thinking about, what could we do with that money?
How are you going to spend all this money that's coming in? How are we going to spend this money?
And betting golf is stressful. Betting in general is stressful. Betting golf is like, you need some significant patience to do that. And like the pacing is different, like every tournament. So the old triple to start. I have not heard from him yet, but I would imagine like during this call, I will receive a text message that will probably have one word, and it will explain everything that needs to be said.
It will not be one that we can say.
No, just one, and it'll be descriptive and informative, and we'll say a lot. But that's not great for him.
He started with a 7 on the par 4.
Hey, buddy, I've been there. Welcome to me.
I feel good if I start with a 7. Honestly, that's not so bad. Okay, all right, I can handle that. Not too shabby. Well, we got to talk. Obviously, there's a lot to get to, but it would be crazy not to start with what happened at Iowa. For folks, that don't know, Adam is an Iowa guy through and through, and so takes special attention, pays special attention to what's going on with the Hawkeyes, and for a long time it's been just sort of a very consistently blue collar, regular old Iowa, just kind of doing its thing. With Kirk Ferentz in charge, and a few years you might get to double-digit wins, but probably going to be in the solid 6 to 8 range, and just going to do some good stuff out there. But Iowa has found itself at the center of a lot of controversy over the last week or so with former players detailing racially charged conversations, racist interactions that they felt from the coaching staff, and in particular the strength and conditioning coach, who is Kirk Ferentz's right-hand man, Chris Doyle, who's now taken a little leave or taken a step away for a little bit, although he denies a lot of what has been alleged. Kirk Ferentz has found himself in the midst of all of this as well. Adam, this has gotten extremely bad for Iowa, and it's not only a bad look, but it just looks like just a real nasty underbelly of this program.
Yeah, it's hard. I talked to people in the program, and they're really shook and rocked by this, as one can expect. This is not something that they saw happening. It's not something that they expected to get out. This is not something that said, like a secret that they were bottling up, right? That's not it. This was truly, and these are people around the program that have operated in this fashion and, pretty successfully for quite some time, from the, ops people to the coaches, et cetera. I think I get sad reading this. I get sad. I know we're supposed to, as media, distance ourselves from schools like this, but I think that's I think that's dumb, and B, I think it's unrealistic. I know people there. I went there. I love the city. You read this and you're just your heart starts breaking, because you wonder, you see what it took for people to speak up like this. So from a national level, I hope that this can bring about other change in places where it may or may be necessary. We'll see about that. And B, you just think about how much better Iowa can be, right? A place that's always been sort of secret to me. So I look at it two ways. Doyle seems like the center of this. The other part that's really interesting is Brian Kirk's son has been mentioned in this as well, and for all intents and purposes, seems like the guy that they're molding to be the successor here. That's a big part of this as well. Offensive coordinator now, son of the most successful coach. Long-term longevity, all those things in the nation right now. That's a huge part of this that they're sort of just kind of politely sidestepping. I know they have a press conference today with Kirk and three players as well, which I'm very interested to see. Kirk Ferentz is a good dude, and I think in a lot of this, guys, it's not. We talked about it with Dabo last week. Kirk Ferentz is really an amazing human being. You see the work that he's done with the Iowa Children's Hospital. This isn't just a wave, right? I mean, one of the last conversations I had with him in person, the guy's just bawling in tears, talking about what he's done for the hospital. So this is not about, in his instance, being a good guy. There's a disconnect. It's a culture. It's a combination of things that allows this stuff to happen. It's surrounding yourself with people where this is sort of the way it is, and this is tolerated, and you can't tolerate it anymore. You can't. This has to change, and I think it will. So I would imagine, I would be surprised if Doyle is back, obviously. And look, that's an $800,000 strength coach, it's the highest paid one in the country. I'd be surprised if he's back. And I'm hoping what we hear today is parents come out and really announce some meaningful changes and how they're going to do this. The fact that he's got players there, I think, is important. So kudos to the players for stepping up. Kudos to the current players now for, creating a voice, having a voice for this. But yeah, it's a mess. You've got to be better than this.
The dynamic between player and coach and the college level is so one-sided. One side has all of the power, while the other side really doesn't. And if all of the people with all of the power are white while all of the players are black, it creates an interesting situation where stuff like this can happen. I feel like this is an example of why you need black people on your coaching staff, somebody with some power who players can go to as a peer of the strength and conditioning coach, or as a peer of some of the other assistant coaches on staff, and say, hey, we've got to knock this out. This is from a black standpoint, from a cultural standpoint, it is offensive to us. You might not know that, and I can understand why you don't know that, but as somebody who's grown up black, this is offensive. You've got to knock it out. You're looking at Iowa, and when you look at all of these major universities, they are primarily white. The black people there are sometimes just there to play a sport, and so they feel isolated. It is great that they find that sort of camaraderie in themselves in the locker room. But when they leave that locker room and they go out onto the campus, they're stepping into a completely different environment where they are really outnumbered, and it creates one of these things where they need somebody on staff that they can lean on. Their football players are in the football facility most of the time, and for there not to be black people on staff for them to go to and say, hey, this is making me feel uncomfortable. I think that is shameful in a way for college football to still be going through this in 2020. Nobody's saying I'm not talking about right now hiring black coaches as head coaches, but you got to have more than one or in some cases none on staff for these players to be able to go to and say, hey, I need you to advocate for me on this. I need you to go to bat for me on this. Coach is saying this. Or the strength and conditioning coach is telling me this and saying these types of things to me. I need you to make this stop. And I think if there were more black coaches on staffs, we wouldn't see stuff like this pop up.
I totally agree. And I wonder, well, also here's the thing that really bothers me about this too. Beyond the obvious uncomfortable, like the part of this that is directly involved with race, this is just bully, gross, machismo, classic football culture BS that you got to get away from, right? If you remove race from this, and you can, and you shouldn't, but let's do it entirely, it's still unacceptable. Like, grow up. Like, this is how you're appealing to college kids these days in 2020, and then you involve race in this, and it enters a new threshold, a new stratosphere of uncomfortable, unacceptable, get out of here, you don't have a job anymore. If that's the way you need to generate, if that's the way you believe you need to reach your players, you have failed spectacularly. And yeah, you've gotten a lot of kids really strong, right? That's Iowa's reputation. That's the thing. This guy, going back to Doyle specifically, you guys probably remember the Robdo thing, right? Where you had a bunch of kids get sick. Like, the fact that this guy not only survived that from a coaching standpoint, but then became, grew in terms of his reputation. I mean, Kirk has defended this guy, obviously, because that was a really big deal in my world. I remember that happened. That was the end. You can't do that. And not only that, well, look at him now, $800,000 later, right? And the strength coach salaries have changed quite a bit here since then. So, you've had opportunities to do things differently. And it does start with Kirk. I say he's a great guy, but you need to know what your people are, and I think he understands that. The one thing I will say about Kirk Ferentz, and I don't mean this as a defense, but I think he's talked openly more about this and kind of trying to understand it. I think he's at least been very open since this thing has happened. It doesn't excuse him from this, but I do admire the honesty, the appreciation, and sure, it's a PR tour. That's what it is. Let's call it for what it is. But at least there's an openness there. Same way with Doyle, like that machismo, hulkish football strength coach mentality. Kirk's a very old school guy. There's probably part of this. He's not racist, but there's part of this that there's just a disconnect that he just did not understand. He comes from a different time, the Hayden Fry, and that's kind of like along the same lines of what we talked about with Dabo. Although Dabo's a little bit more brazen about it, right? Dabo's just kind of continuing on. So I'm really interested to see what happens today. The fact that you have some of his players at the press conference, that, and I could be reading into it wrong, but that to me is going to spark some change. The other thing about this too that drives me crazy, where they were talking about different ways to let players have voices, and they originally had agreed to allow them to have one pre-approved tweet. Are you kidding me? Are you, again, that's not something necessarily tied to race. That's a football thing.
I should have that for my Twitter account, honestly. I
need
Twitter
it.
account better.
I need it. Yeah, it would help me, especially after 9:30 p.m. However, that's gross. That's what you're doing to your players? You don't trust the players that you're recruiting that much. We're going to have one pre-approved tweet? So again, massive disconnect. Needs to be fixed in one capacity or another, and I imagine a big part of that's going to be a staff change, at least one.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot to this. Obviously, this is a very complicated situation. It's gone on for a long time in the world of college sports, in particular, with the Iowa situation. I mean, number one, strength and conditioning coach is the right hand man of the coach. So
Correct.
Whatever happens there is 99 times out of 100, the coach is responsible for and has pushed for. In the same way that Scott Cochran leaving Tuscaloosa, Nick Saban was a big deal because he was the one who kind of implemented all this stuff. I mean, Chris Doyle has been Kirk Ferentz's right hand man. Not only though, the thing, Adam, I don't mean to go after Kirk here specifically in any kind of a harsh way, but I think it just has to be done. the Chris Doyle stuff, not only did he bring him back after the Rabdo thing, but he more or less invented an award for assistant coach of the year and gave it to him as almost like a F you to everybody else who thinks that this is not okay or that he should be punished for this. No, not only am I not going to punish for him, he's going to get a new contract, and I'm going to invent this award that he's going to win because this is what Iowa is all about. That just feels like a defiant kind of a thumb your nose at the critics thing, which is totally unnecessary. I think on top of that, I hear you, and I have the same. I had the same discussion about folks in my sphere. There's a lot of really good people out there, but good people can be racist, or good people can have racist undertones, or can be unwilling to deal with racial issues, or good quote unquote good people. There can be a real blind spot in their handling of this, and in the same way. This is 2020, man, and your job relies on getting young people, in particular a lot of young black people, to come play for you. And if you have demonstrated, at this point, to this point, an unwillingness to deal with this issue, an unwillingness to actually deal with it on the level, of an actual conversation about what does it mean for player control, what does it mean to talk about race with young black people in this country. To me, that's the same thing as just not having a basic communication skill. We wouldn't allow that. You have to be able, and that's what's frustrating about Dabo. He's talking around all this stuff, but he's not talking actually about it. And once these players, who I think are getting more and more aware and more savvy about what is really going on here and what their role in this system really is, once they start punishing coaches for making these kinds of decisions or choosing not to actually address these issues. Once they start making that crystal clear that, you know what, maybe I don't mind going to an HBCU because I feel like I'm going to actually be listened to. And it's bigger than just my athletic career. It's bigger than the NFL. It's bigger than that stuff. Maybe I'm going to go to a smaller school who I feel like has a better coaching staff for me. I don't know, Adam. I think this is a potential C-level change, and I hope guys like Kirk, I don't mean to knock. I'm not trying to but I think he's got to get more clubs in the bag, so to speak, when it comes to dealing with people.
I 100% agree. And no, I don't want this to sound like a defense of him. I think when you are in this position, this has to be about more than results.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be.
It's supposed to be, right? That's what we always tell ourselves. College sports is about more than just wins and losses and all this, right? Oh yeah,
beat us this crap every media day about building young men, right, and grooming them and turning them into future good dads and good people for the community. Okay, they feed us that, and some of them I think really mean it, and I think some of them do it. And you can lose your way a little bit, right? It really has to. I forget where I was asked that. Somebody was asked about, will it change the way, we view coaches as success? Well, the answer to that is no, sadly, because you have to win. But I do think at some point these guys need to step up and be the people that we want them to be, right? That they should be, that they're paid to be. That's the other thing about Kirk Ferentz. It's the contract jokes are a little less funny now because everybody's making so much money and he's kind of like right where he should be. Heard those for years. I think, you've got it. This is a wake up call, and I think it will be a wake up call in other places. I really hope that if people can learn something from this Iowa thing beyond Iowa's situation, it's players being able to find a voice. We saw it at Florida State as well. That was really powerful. I think you're seeing some of the former players, and these are guys that I grew up watching and grew up kind of before I did this as a media standpoint, idolized, truly. The Abdul Hodges of the world and guys like that. So I think if there's anything that you can draw, you have to try and draw positive out of here. Otherwise, it's for nothing. It's that players are going to find a voice in a variety of ways and really tap into their power and their influence and drive true productive change, not just for Iowa, for people around the country. If that's not going to happen, I'll be really sad because this is hard and people are kind of pouring their souls into this, and there has to be it has to be what comes next. I expect today, and I don't know what's on that press conference, is you'll start to see some of that. You'll start to see actual change one way or another. Again, I hope to see that.
Well, and the thing is, too, I hope that we see more and more, because Lord knows, Adam, you deal with this more than I do and more than any of us. Players within programs are so coaches and media relations, everyone else, just put a damper on anything that these players want to think about, want to say, want to express themselves in any realistic individual way. It is muzzled to an unbelievable degree, to the point where any statement that comes out from a player is vetted so hard that it may as well be issued by the university itself, and if it's not, then it won't be allowed to be issued. The programs have got to release this grip that they have on control. Every aspect control. Where are you? Are you in the facility? What are you doing? What's this? What's that? Where are you going? Who are you with? What are you eating? All that. There is just an enormous amount of micromanagement and hyper control of every little detail with these players' lives. And when it starts to extend to expressing themselves and expressing their identity racially, expressing their frustration with the world, things like that, then you got a real problem. And I feel like a lot of coaches are going to get a real wake-up call. I mean, again, look what happened with Mike Norvell, who did a classic coach move of, I'm sort of going to kind of glide past this thing and exaggerate a little bit, and we'll just sort of fudge the reality of it, But I'll sort of give the gist of it, make it look good, and that'll be that on that. And player, Marvin Wilson's like, nope, that's not what happened. Here's what happened. We better get this right, or else we're not practicing. And lo and behold, they got substantive change within that program. It's about to get real for some of these coaches, Adam.
Yeah, it got right real fast. And,
real fast.
But you know what? That was a productive look at it. I mean, that was uncomfortable for about 18 hours, but I thought there was some good done there.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where you're going to get here. You're right, though. When you look back at, I think when we look back on this, and you look at programs that did not allow players on Twitter, that's going to look so archaic and strange. You're going to wonder what were we thinking? What were we doing?
Yeah, what was happening here?
To silence somebody's voice and not allow them on Twitter, because you're inherently saying, I don't trust you to be the person that you are. Yeah. I don't trust you to say that. That's going to seem so outrageous. So that's the thing with this too, guy. I mean, there's so many layers to this that it is in a sense somewhat larger than race, but it is absolutely about race. This is about human decency. It's about trust. It's about treating people the way they should be treated. It's about allowing people to have a voice. And because of the way college football is set up, and you guys are talking about it, like these guys are mostly playing for free, and you've got white coaches predominantly, and you've got African-American players. It is extremely complicated and delicate. And look, we're doing this thing. Let's rip the Band-Aids off. Let's get. It's going to be painful. It's going to be hard, but I think we'll all be better for it. And you're seeing that at Iowa.
Well, I hope that, like I said, I hope this is a turning point, and I think it will be, because I think players, as ever, are going to hold their feet to the fire on this, much like they're going to hold their feet to the fire on the issue of name, image, likeness, and all that stuff. This is another component of fairness, and this just cannot continue the way that it has continued. It is not a sustainable situation. And so, we'll get to all the details of, when they can come back. And, there was a framework from the NCAA yesterday about practicing and returning to practice and that kind of stuff. And that's great, although, cases are going up around the nation. So that's
college football players testing positive.
Yeah, college, which I think is actually, like, I'm not so concerned about that, because I think you're going to have all these players coming in from various parts of the country. I'm glad they're getting tested. A few testing positive is not, alarming necessarily to me, as long as they're dealt with, appropriately. What is alarming is the rest of the country testing so positive and lots of other things.
Yeah,
that is definitely getting alarming at this stage. So I don't know, Adam. I hope we can go through with this thing, but this is bigger than any of that stuff. I mean, this to me is like the fundamental. Are you going to have college football as you know it? If you do, you better address some of these issues.
Yeah, the backdrop of this is a pandemic, and that's the part. It's undoubtedly having a role, but you're right. We're coming up with these plans to get kids back on campus, to get football games going, The NBA is getting ready to go to Disney, and you're looking at Florida cases surge. It's very hard to look through all this data, but it doesn't just seem like it's going away. College football is going to be kind of like where I'm in Illinois, right? We're watching other states. We're still shut down predominantly for the most part, and our cases are going down. So we're seeing what's happening. College football probably going to be in that position too when you're watching some of these other sports come back. What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? How's it going to be? But it's you're right. It's been such an unbelievably difficult 3 months. But it doesn't matter, man. The stuff we're talking about now, the stuff that we're dealing with now, it's time. Pandemic or not, we got to figure these things out.
It's time, and we're going to do it. And I'm looking forward to seeing your response to this, and looking forward to seeing what happens. And I hope that the positive changes are coming soon within Iowa and other programs around the country. Great stuff, Adam. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll chat again next week, and I hope you have a good one, man.
All right, guys. You too. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Adam.
It's our friend Adam Kramer. Great stuff from Adam. Really appreciate Adam. Whoops, I hit the wrong button there. Why did I hang? I closed out our Zoom meeting. Why did I do that? There's no reason for that. Doesn't make any sense. When we
log back in, you got to break the log back in.
I got it. I got this under control. We're in good shape. No problem. I got this. In the meantime, we'll come back and we'll do the wheel of conversation and much more as we continue. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Commitment, dedication, perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Central Barbecue is committed to the health and safety of this community, who has supported Central for almost 20 years. Central Barbecue is still open for business with to-go and delivery options to serve the greater Memphis area with the same great barbecue you have come to know and love. With 4 locations to serve you, from downtown, midtown, and East Memphis, you can order your favorite barbecue and enjoy everything on the menu in the comfort of your own home. Call your nearest Central Barbecue location for more information on delivery and to-go options today.
Has this ever happened to you? My friend was telling me about his new pair of headphones, so I looked them up online. Now, everywhere I go is a creepy ad for those headphones I looked at one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I got DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. It's that simple. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $24.50. The Gourmet Chef welcomes you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel or Bo at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me for Sidelines Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. on Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1 FM. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, recruiting. Hey, if they keep score, we're covering it. Check us out on the website at sports56whbq.com and sidelines.live. Sidelines is brought to you by Duncan Williams Asset Management. Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. Get up and give us a call.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Got shown up in attention. She's poetry in motion, a beautiful sight to see. I get so excited viewing her anatomy. She's built and she's all the curves a man like. Got all the curves a man like. She's built and she's all the curves a man like. Got all the curves a man like. Look at her, she's a bad mamma jamma, just as fine as she can be. Hey, she's a bad mamma jamma, oh, just as fine as she can be.
Boom, boom, boom. Welcome back. Funky Friday. Funky Friday. Funky. I'm Peter. That's CJ. Right there. No. There.
Why are you pointing with the offhand where I am? Why not just go bow right there?
Because it's I got my screen mirrored, so I can't quite figure out which way. I feel like I'm the Joey Sulipex of the world, where you're doing the weather and you're like on the other side here. I can't quite figure out the way it's supposed to.
You're here for me, so diagonal.
Okay.
Bottom diagonal.
Well, Zach is over here, and you're down here. There we go. That's you, and there's Zach. Big thanks to Adam Kramer. Again, the discussion is it's an important one, man. I feel like it's the idea of, as kid, it sort of goes back to what we were talking about with Lonnie Walker and talking about the sexual abuse and having these conversations with our kids and having conversations within families and having conversations within friend groups and stuff. Man, I think, CJ, to me, what one very attainable goal that we can start to work towards as a society, just in general, is increasing our tool chest when it comes to dealing with these sorts of issues and giving people a different set of tools to work with, the ability to actually have some of these conversations. Because a lot of folks right now don't have it in their, they don't have the vocabulary, they don't have the conversation, they haven't even thought about the framework of some of this stuff. Whether it be systemic racism, whether it be the incredibly devastating, checkered, terrible history of what's happened in this country, where stuff. There's a poll, next week, a week from today is Juneteenth.
Yeah.
And there was somebody was talking about that. Like, I would be curious with our texters, 67129. How many of you guys learned what that was in school? Because I didn't.
Not in school, no.
Not in school. Like, I would venture to say, like, close to 100% of our listeners within this area never heard that term until they were out of school or some other. Certainly didn't hear it in school.
Mm-hmm.
I never did.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you would think, given what it commemorates, that it would be a part of the curriculum. Like it's a major deal.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably, I don't know how old I was when I knew it was even June 19th, like what Juneteenth even, like what that meant. So stuff like that, like we got to give people the tools to actually like have these kinds of just give them the basic tools to have these kinds of conversations. I think some of these like well-meaning coaches don't have the tools to actually do this. Like it's like you're trying to fix a problem and no one's giving you a hammer or screwdriver. You don't have one. All you got is all you got's like a wrench, and you're just whacking it with the wrench, and that's not working. You can't fix it. You can't fix everything with a wrench, man. You got to have a hammer. You got to have a screwdriver. You got to have that little ratchet. You got to have the other stuff. You got lots of tools in the toolbox. You can't just have one. And I think in some of these issues, we need to increase the tools we got.
Yeah, Nike, speaking of Juneteenth, June 19th, next Friday, Nike is acknowledging that as like a paid holiday. Saw that come
Twitter.
Across. It's Twitter also?
Mm-hmm.
Good. That seems like one of those things that should be a holiday.
Yeah.
Didn't end racism on that day, but began to take the steps to amend the damage that
You said we did not end racism on that day.
No, did not
racism
end
is not, we didn't end it?
Nope. Believe it or not, no.
Man.
But we began to take these steps necessary to end it on that day with the freeing of the last slaves in Texas. It's a big deal. It's like we like holidays. We like cooking out. We like to party. Like, I don't know why Juneteenth isn't talked about more. One of the things that I remember, one of those core memories as a kid growing up in Clarksville, Tennessee, got a history book, and we were doing Tennessee history, 3rd grade, and got to that part about, hey, here's what the South was like, and then Bow just immediately jumped from slavery to slavery ends to modern history in the span of 2 paragraphs. And went to parents like, what did you learn? It's like, oh, we learned about slavery today. Oh, what did they tell you? And I recited the 2 paragraphs like, no, you don't understand. There was more to it than just this. And after that moment, every time I got a history book on Tennessee state history or U.S. history or something like that, I would immediately go, okay, let's see how reliable, how much I should put my trust into this book. Let's go straight to the slavery section, which would at best be, and I got this book maybe my senior year, a chapter on slavery, and not much mentioning about the Civil War, other than, hey, we fought amongst ourselves and kept the Union preserved. Not much outside of that. Abraham Lincoln gave a speech, and everything was good, and we were all good after that. Not much about the ramifications and the true nature of the event of slavery and Reconstruction and Jim Crow era South. So, like, we're not talking about this. This shouldn't be a thing that's kept secret. This shouldn't be Juneteenth. Shouldn't be one of those situations where we aren't comfortable talking about it. Like, we aren't comfortable talking about anything race related, let alone racist. Like, and you're right. We need more tools in our tool chest so we can begin to have those conversations. But this is not a racist thing here to say, you know what? Slavery was bad. Owning people is bad.
No.
That does not represent the values of America. I think everybody would agree, yes, that is true. And Juneteenth was the end of that practice, so we should all celebrate the end of something truly horrific. I would think we would all want to celebrate that day, but some people just can't get over the fact that it involves black people being slaves, and what all comes with that. So it's frustrating, it's sad, but I think things are beginning to change for the better. I hope so.
Well, I hope so, too. It was on this date in 1963, Medgar Evers was assassinated.
Was that today?
Yep.
Huh.
So, this was a guy that had served his country, a guy that was gunned down in his own driveway, a guy that was whose killer took 30-plus years to bring any kind of justice. There's the Ghosts of Mississippi is a movie to check out on that score. But in any event, just again another example of some of the things that you don't hear as much about in our history class. And I think the reason I kind of bring this up together, CJ, is because I feel like we talked about with Lonnie Walker and having to deal with you just kind of openly talking about having been sexually abused as a child. Like, that's a hard thing to talk about. It's a hard thing to discuss. It's a hard thing to admit. It's a hard thing to deal with. You don't have all the answers. Why, what? There's so many things that you don't know. But just in having that conversation and talking about it, opening himself up to for people to see, that means the world to so many. In the same way, slavery and what happened and what's happened in this country for 400 years to black people is it's a shame. It's a national shame in many respects. It's a huge scar on what this country is supposed to be all about, and what it and how badly it completely destroyed generations and generations and generations of people to just churned through them, treated them as property. Black people who had no rights of their own to be and built wealth and built all this. It all stems from that, and it's hard to have that conversation. It's hard to look back and to think about what that is and what that means, if you really start to reckon with what that means, then that's a very painful thing to think about if you've grown up only thinking about the United States in the most basic terms and all the patriotic and flag and all that stuff. Like if you haven't really given that any consideration about what has actually been built and what it took to build and what the cost was in human lives and how we are still dealing with the fallout and how we are still we still have generations of black folks who are dealing with the economic fallout from that, with the there's so many things. But until you start to actually admit that and talk about it publicly, you can't have this conversation. Like it doesn't work. You know what I mean? If you can't even have like Juneteenth as like a thing that people are learning in schools, how are you gonna how you think you're gonna have the tools to have the real conversation about race that we need to have to actually get somewhere with this stuff?
You can't. And this Juneteenth is easy. Like
that's an easy one. That's what I'm saying. That's an easy one.
What are we founded on? Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and all men being created equal. Slavery directly contradicts that statement. We as a nation battled went back and forth with the ills and the evils of slavery. Is that really what we want to be? And we decided no. And June 19th is the date where, it ended. It ended across the United States. That is the date for us to really begin to invite everybody into that American dream on that date. You ask people, is slavery good or bad? Bad. So ending slavery would be good. Hey, on this date we ended slavery. You guys want to party? This is going to be good weather. It's in June. We can cook out. We can drink all of the alcohol. We can celebrate together on this date, but we can't even get there.
You're doing it on the 4th of July. This is like, hey, this is 4th of July. This
is bigger than the 4th of July because on the 4th of July, I wasn't independent. Black people weren't independent on July 4th. That there's been many speeches done, none better than what is the 4th of July to the Negro. I do believe that's Frederick Douglass's speech, where he talks about that contradiction between land of the free, home of the brave, and the fact that you are owning people. June 19th is the end of that practice. And then we can really begin to put forth an effort for all men to be created equal, all women to be created equal for that matter, and everybody have the freedoms and the rights to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I'm going to go out here on a limb, Peter. I don't think it's that. I think it's a pretty sturdy branch to say, hey, slavery contradicts that liberty thing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That also
the pursuit of happiness thing also.
Pursuit of happiness. It takes a toll on your life. Takes a toll on your life. So how can you have those words in your Constitution, in your Declaration of Independence, and practice slavery? And so Juneteenth, when that last messenger got to Texas and told those enslaved people, hey, you're free now. Like, that is a big deal, but we can't appreciate it. We as a collective can't appreciate that date because we don't know how to talk about race. Not racism, but just race. We don't know how to, we don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want to acknowledge its impact on our society today. And it's getting to a point to where you can no longer run from it. You can no longer bury your head. You can no longer use straw man arguments to try and keep a conversation about race from happening. Everybody, basically what I'm trying to say is, I'm going to be off on Juneteenth. Everybody should just take off. Let's all celebrate. Let's all party. Let's get it. Peter, you can come to the house. Zach, you can come to the house. We're going to get it in. We're going to get it in. We're going to watch some movies.
We're going to be socially distant? Or
Yeah. It's going to be outside. It's going to be outside. I'm still working on the bathroom situation, how best to do that.
How's that? You got that? I got to look.
I got the projector. I don't know where to get a screen from.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get the screen. We have been talking.
You got a projector?
Yeah. Swung by Wally World.
Okay.
So
right.
As soon as
I like where you're.
We're gonna watch some movies outside. Grab a bunch of food from local black-owned businesses. We're gonna do it big. We're gonna have us a good time. Zach has to leave. Yes, Zach's gonna have to leave before sundown, but because he's like a vampire. But that's cool.
That's right. That's correct. That's exactly right. Let's
party. Let's celebrate.
Well, that's the thing is it should be a day of national celebration and all that stuff. I mean, it's a good thing. But as you very eloquently said, like if you're going to celebrate something, you got to celebrate, or you got to understand what it is that you're celebrating and what happened. Why is the 4th of July such a national holiday? It's because of independence from what? Well, that's the story that we tell. But so what is Juneteenth? What is that independence from? What is that a freedom from? Like what happened? And we don't want to have that. We don't want to deal with that. We don't want to talk about that. So instead, we kind of cover up what should be a national day of celebration because we don't want to have that conversation about what it is that we're actually celebrating and what we did and what happened after that, which wasn't quite as straightforward as, hey, y'all are free and everything's cool. We're all good to go. And everything's that did not happen. And that I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we did not end racism there in 1865. But it's still good. Still good to celebrate. Still an important date, without question. So let's all celebrate. That's what I'm saying. Let's all celebrate. Let's all celebrate.
Look out, get on the grill.
Yeah, that's exactly.
We all just need one excuse to get on the grill, just a small reason to get on the grill next Friday.
That's exactly right. All right, let's come back and we'll spin that wheel of conversation. We're also going to talk to our good buddy Kari Thompson, who will join us at 9:00 in hour number 3. This is Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. Weekday afternoons from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. The storms we've had over the past several months have been devastating to our communities. The rainy season is ahead. You may have not even noticed the dripping in your attic, water stains throughout your home, or even worse, mold and mildew. Please call Brian Elder Roofing and we will send out our project managers to assess any damage. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. We will measure your roof from outer space. 0% for 60 months, even no payments till 2022 are available with approved credit. If you've noticed missing shingles, water stains, leaks in your roof, call us before you call your insurance company at 867-0303. That's 867-0303, and we will provide a free, thorough inspection of your roof's condition.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Visit Frontier Western Store this Father's Day for the perfect gifts for Dad. From now until Father's Day, you'll save big on the classic Carhartt K87 short sleeve tee. Get 2 for $25. Frontier carries every color they make, including this year's brand new colors. All sizes are in stock and on sale, small to 4X. All Carhartt Force t-shirts are 25% off too. This hard-working cotton blend wicks away sweat, resists stains, and has a relaxed fit, giving Dad plenty of room to move. Save big on Force at 25% off. Also, all men's pants and jeans, $5 off. Wrangler, Carhartt, and Ariat. Every pair of khakis, jeans, dungarees, and even FR workwear, $5 off. All Carhartt shorts are 25% off too. While you're there, grab Dad some boots. You know he'd love a new pair. Frontier has thousands of boots in stock at amazing everyday low prices. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
We're gonna spin that wheel. We may have to actually get into the nuts and bolts of this topic at like 9:30, depending on how things go. Depending on what the topic is exactly.
Oh,
what is it?
Oh, this is right up your wheelhouse alleyway.
Right up my wheelhouse alleyway?
Yes.
It's my favorite place to be.
Best word that was created in your lifetime.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yes.
Oh.
Best word that was created in your lifetime. Or I guess, and by created, I mean recognized as an actual word. I think ain't, so let's take ain't for example. I think ain't is a real word now, but it hasn't always been. I can't remember exactly when we decided to stop playing around and stop playing with ourselves like ain't a word.
Not all of us stop playing with ourselves.
Oh, well, hey.
When it comes to ain't, that is. Like your phrasing there. The ain't. Yes. Agreed. The word that popped into my mind, on a related note, y'all.
Y'all is a, but when did it, was it in your
y'all?
lifetime?
I don't know that y'all, again, there's no, the thing with words, etymology and all that stuff, you have absolutely no way to know for sure exactly the one moment in time when a word was created or accepted or whatever. Like there's, that's just you have to sort of generally. But I've noticed that at least in terms of just kind of in general use, y'all has been more widely accepted. And quite frankly, it needs to be. Y'all is an absolutely perfect word.
Mm-hmm.
A word for which we do not have an equivalent in the existing English language. We talked about increasing our tools, right?
Yes.
We don't have a tool for that word in the second person plural. We have you and you.
Mm-hmm.
You singular, you plural. Other languages, if you study other languages, almost all of them have that second person plural phrasing of you as a collective group of people, you bunch of folks, you all, dare I say. And then maybe if we take you all and we just sort of combine that in and make it y'all, doesn't that just make sense? Isn't that just a beautiful,
that makes sense to me.
It's like putting that little last piece of the puzzle just right in the old vocabulary. Y'all is exquisite. So that's the one that I'm most excited about because it's absolutely a word that you can do different things with if you want, but just at its absolute basic core, it solves a huge problem within the English language. And you guys, other solutions, no. Y'all is a perfect solution for that.
Just so people know, awesome sauce is a real word. That became a word this year. Awesome sauce got added to the dictionary.
That's one word?
Yes, one word. Awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce, like one
word. One word.
I would have thought that was two.
Words. But the word that I think of is bling. Like we say bling a lot now. Swag is up there too for me. But bling is And when you say bling now, and everybody knows you're talking about jewelry, you're talking about gold, diamonds, platinum sets, and stuff like that. But bling hadn't always been around. And the fact that bling, we got the word bling from Cash Money's hit song Bling Bling with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne gave us a word, people. I'm here for that. Bling was added to...
Is that where bling came from?
That's where bling came from. Yes.
Where did he get it from?
I have no clue why Wayne started saying bling bling. Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Pinky ring worth about 50, bling bling. No clue. No clue. It was added to Oxford's dictionary in 2003, and Merriam-Webster officially adopted the term in 2006. It was just one of those slang words, and that's where words come from. Usually, ain't y'all both slang words. One awesome sauce, another slang word that eventually gets to become a real word. Is swag? Zach, can you check and see if swag is a real word for me?
Swag is definitely a real word, but swag comes from swagger. I mean, that's just an abbreviation. You know, that's not. I mean, swag has a different sort of colloquialism, but swag was around forever as like, swag was another variant of that.
Mm-hmm.
As in like products and stuff, you get like free stuff is swag bag, swag just from swagger. That makes perfect sense. Like that's a understandable abbreviation. It's all like this is all like logical stuff. Like this makes sense. I gotta think more about this. This is.
We'll get
like,
back into it.
Text in. Yeah, we got to get back into it. This is such a good topic. I gotta. Oh, why? Talking words, CJ. That's
I know what gets you going.
Right
that's why I put it on there.
I'm so excited. Okay, what's the texter say?
I said, well, we'll get to your text on the side. You guys keep the text coming in.
Keep those texts coming in. We'll talk to Kari about that on the other side. Kari Thompson joins us to talk preps, among many other things. All that is next. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
I've always wanted to learn another language, but every time I try, it never sticks. So I decided to give Babbel a try, and I really like the teaching method of the app. I started with the beginner lesson on Babbel, and it starts with simple words and phrases. And soon, you're putting those words into a conversation. Each lesson takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and they're all really different, which keeps things interesting. The app is really smart. It actually keeps track of the words I'm struggling with, so I can practice them and get better. I chose Babbel because it was created by real language teachers. They built it around real life, how people actually communicate, and what they care about. I can't wait to use my new language skills in the real world. Dos cervezas, por favor.
With Babbel, get conversational in Spanish, French, German, and more. It just takes 10 to 15 minutes a day. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com or download the Babbel app and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hi, it's the Herd. Start your day with M-Drive Start. It's the world's best morning shake. New from the guys at M-Drive. Start is packed with elite-level nutrition and protein. Fires up your body, gives you the lean look we're looking for. Shirts coming off in the summer. M-Drive Start has an industry-best 7 clinically tested ingredients and 6 sources of protein to support energy, recovery, and lean muscle. It also includes digestive enzymes, collagen, vitamins. The list goes on. No other morning shake touches this formula. Get elite-level nutrition and protein so you feel great in the morning. Check it out at mdrivestart.com. You wake up looking for energy, you've got your product. And as part of the launch, the guys at mDrive are offering 25% off if you sign up for their easy-to-manage subscribe and save. So go to mdrivestart.com, try it yourself. Elite level nutrition. mDrive Start.
There's a new commissary in town in Collierville. Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levy Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
I've been in the right place, but it must have
been a wrong time.
I done said the right thing, but it must have used the wrong line.
That happens sometimes.
I've been on the right trail, but it must
That happens sometimes, CJ. You gotta be careful. Welcome back to the Family Leisure Studios. I'm Peter. He is CJ. That's Zach. It's Funky Friday. Right here, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96, 187, son. If you see on the Zoom chat, I got my buddy joining me today. Not my hippo, but this is more my Lego fig here. This is
what's his name?
He's I have to ask my son. I don't know.
Okay.
He appears to be a mastermind of some sort, and he's got the goggles on, the red goggles. You can see he's a bad dude. So we got him, and of course my hippo is still here.
Okay.
He's just kind of just to let you know. We're still here. If I had like a little, like a better, like a, you know, if I have like a floating shelf, I just put him right here so you can see him all the time. But
gotcha.
Rest assured, they're close to my heart always. Hour number 3, we've got to our great topic of best words that have been invented or become popularized
or acknowledged
during your lifetime. That's a tremendous topic. We'll talk about that coming up here, as well as go talk to our friend Kari Thompson, who joins us now from the Commercial Appeal, covers preps, among other things, at _ Kari Thompson. Good morning, Kari. What's up, man? How are you?
What's up, Peter? What's up, CJ?
What up, Kari?
What's going on? What's
What's up, Kari?
Seems like we startled you a bit.
Yeah. You're like, what's up, Peter? Like, what's up, Kari? Okay, yeah, all right. Is that how we're going to do this?
Trying to put emphasis, you know?
I appreciate your vocal work there. You've been working with the coach on that. I got you. That's good. Appreciate that. So Kari, so much to discuss this week, but I got to start with your beloved Boston Red Sox issuing a statement this week acknowledging that folks have been racially abused at Fenway Park. There, by their count, have been 8 incidents that were reported last year. Others say there have been more. This was spurred on by Torrey Hunter saying that he had a no trade clause specifically to Boston because he was mistreated and because he had seen so much in many examples of it in his career and with himself and with others that he wanted to make sure that didn't happen with him. And the Red Sox have kind of taken the step towards discussing this publicly. This has been kind of the reputation for a while, Kari, so I figured who better than our New England correspondent, to discuss New England. What did you make of this?
Well, I thought that it was an outstanding statement. I thought, what a way to just own it. When you have a problem, why not just identify it, deal with it, and then move on? You know what I'm saying? And the Red Sox have a long history of sweeping things like this under the rug. The reputation is what it is. And as they said, Torrey Hunter's experience is real. Take it from us. Think how wild that is that they admitted that, because Torrey Hunter said he's been called the N-word at Fenway over 100 times by everyone from little kids to old people. So, it's a big problem that the city has, and it's a big problem that the organization has, going back way, way, way before Torrey Hunter was even born. But the fact that they admitted it now, I think, can be the first step towards making things better.
And it's crazy because in that statement, not only is it, hey, take it from us, this is happening, not only with players, but with people wearing our uniform, the field and grounds crew, the people working in the stadium are catching this also. I felt like, I agree with you, it is big when anybody can acknowledge something like that, because it shows that they not only can they acknowledge it, but they're willing to listen and willing to take steps and are trying to take steps necessary to eliminate that form of racism from their general vicinity.
Yeah, that's what leadership looks like. You step up to the plate and you take a swing at the problem. That's what leadership looks like. And being from Boston and being black from Boston, I get all the jokes about how Boston is so racist, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy. People just love to call out Boston as this place of racism. Don't get me wrong, racism in Boston is very real.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it's funny because everyone, since I live in the South now, everyone always tells me, "Oh, watch out for the racism in that red state." And I say right back to them, "You watch out for that racism up in Boston."
Yeah,
because it is just as bad as anywhere else, if not worse.
It's funny how the South has the burden of racial problems and racism when you look around, and if you know the history of Boston and blacks in Boston or blacks in Chicago, even although Detroit in there, and what we're seeing going on right now in Minneapolis, it seems like racism is just spread all over the country, not just in the Mississippis and Arkansas and Tennessees and Kentuckys of the world.
Right. If you look at Eric Garner, that was New York City.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Michael Brown, that's Ferguson, Missouri. You look at George Floyd and Philando Castile, Minneapolis, Minnesota. You look at Oscar Grant, that's Oakland, California. Racism and police brutality are both nationwide problems, nationwide issues. And that's why it's so important for these sports teams to come out and make statements like this, because people really look up to them. You know what I'm saying? They're leaders in their communities. So, when you have a platform like that, you really have an obligation to speak out against these big-time societal issues. I think the Red Sox handled it beautifully.
Well, it turns out that racism is indeed a problem across all 50 states. That's amazing. A lot of people don't know that, but that is true. And we start to see these things kind of being dealt with, Kari, in a way that, as you mentioned with Boston's statement, like that's an unusually candid statement, an unusually straightforward approach. But we're kind of seeing more and more of that, and I think with what we talked about earlier in the show with what's happening at Iowa and Kirk Ferentz, what happened at Clemson, what happened with Mike Norvell in Florida State. When it comes to recruiting, Kari, do you think that this is going to be a major impact on the high school scene? That you see kids, that are now growing up in this era of, real potential systemic change, having discussions that we haven't had, having their voices heard in a way that they've not been heard and truly listened to. The change in like what Black Lives Matter, how that is being accepted in just
the mainstream
white America is incredible. Like it's totally, jumps in a. Are these kids now that they're being their coaches and the way that they're treated change when it comes to college?
It's a kid-to-kid basis. One example of a change was, did you see that video of that girl, that women's basketball player from Liberty, who basically said, look, I'm taking a stand. Liberty does not align with my values, but their stance on race, so I'm transferring. I'm out.
Yeah.
And she put together an eloquent video on that. But do I think most kids are like her and make similar decisions? No, I do not. I think kids are still blinded by the 80,000-seat stadiums and the flashy jerseys and the weight rooms and the track record of sending players to the NFL and the NBA. I really think that these major schools still have a major advantage in terms of recruiting that won't be erased by the racism we witnessed in Minneapolis.
And I mean, it's not only the major schools, but the other schools, the other FCS or the other non-Power 5 schools still have facilities that are pretty good and better than some of these HBCUs out there as well. So it is one thing to be a kid in Tennessee and decide, you know what, I want to go to University of Tennessee or I want to go to University of Memphis and play basketball. That same kid, though, or a lesser kid, a kid who doesn't have quite as many stars deciding to go to Austin Peay or University of Tennessee Chattanooga over an HBCU like North Carolina A&T or a Bethune-Cookman or a Grambling or something like that. That is where the change may come, maybe. But still, that is an uphill battle because a lot of these HBCUs, they don't get the funding that other state institutions get. And let's face it, because of the way our society shakes out, black people don't have the same type of disposable income to just donate back to their institution the way that some do around the country. So the facilities aren't quite up to par or aren't quite the same when you think about a Murray State versus like a Lemoyne or a Lane or something like that. So it is going to be hard for HBCUs to go out there and not only recruit the 4 and 5 stars, but hell, 3 and 2 stars. It takes a lot for a kid to decide to go to an Alabama A&M over a Troy State. Like that is a big get, and it is going to take a conscientious shift in black people and how we view HBCUs for that to happen.
We can't just put it on community funding and black people funding our own schools because, let's face it, with a lot of these big state schools that are really good at sports, it's a systemic issue of disproportionate funding from the government. Like the government is quite literally funding these super schools and making them what they are. But, I mean, you guys know me. I talk to these kids every week. It's what I do, and I kind of get the pulse. Out of all the major football and basketball guys that I've talked to, the only one who I have heard even mention that they might look at an HBCU is Jaylen Brown over at Wooddale, the guard who plays Johnson Lawson. He's the only one that I've heard even mention it. The one that that is actively being recruited by the major schools, but would even consider it. I talk to a lot of kids across the city, and it's just wild to me that there's not people they're not exploring the option.
Well, I mean, it's going to take one or two to start doing it, but I mean the conversations need to be had, and I think I would love to see these coaches have to kind of address this stuff in a more real way. I'd love to see these coaches actually start to have to deal with this stuff with the threat of losing some of these players, with the threat of not being able to recruit in black homes because you aren't actually dealing with these issues that are relevant in these young people's lives. There's got to be a way to kind of push that a little bit, and maybe it's coming from within with these programs. Maybe you're going to see guys like Marvin Wilson speaking out more and more publicly. You're going to see more folks like the former players at Iowa speaking out to put pressure on the programs. Maybe that's part of it, but I still think that it would require that there could be one or two that could really be like serious game changers in the world. And I still think these guys, look at what's happened with other players, man. I mean, it's not like, Carson Wentz didn't get seen because he went to an
North Dakota State
FBS school or FCS school. I mean, like, you could, if you're good enough, you're going to get seen out there. So I hope some of these kids will try it, man.
Right, for sure. I mean, a lot of people don't really know the rich history of, the HBCUs when it comes to putting players in the NFL. Like, some of these schools, the Gramblings, the Morgan States, have some of the most NFL draft picks of all time, and some of the greatest ones. I mean, when you look at your Jerry Rices and your Walter Paytons, those are dudes that are HBCU dudes. And, but the shift has just gone so far left, man. I mean, I remember when Doug Williams came to Memphis and he spoke at the Civil Rights Museum as part of the race symposiums on MLK Day. And I went into it all optimistic. I was like, yeah, one day these 4 and 5 stars are going to start picking these HBCUs. But when I heard Doug Williams, who still works for the university, he's still an ambassador for the university and is one of the greatest black college football players of all time, first black quarterback, say that we will never get these 4 and 5 stars because of the inherent advantages the other schools have, it depressed me, and it kind of changed my outlook, because that's a legend who intimately knows the game and still doesn't have the hope.
Yeah, but I really think, and I can't speak for, Doug Williams or anyone else, obviously, and that's my guy. I mean, that was my quarterback growing up. Was why that was my first Super Bowl. I remember why it was incredible. So I love Doug, but I really think we've seen an extraordinary change in public opinion and in the mood of the country over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and maybe it's brought on by some introspection. The coronavirus, we've all been in our homes for a while. We've all kind of had time to think and consider. And I think people have thought and considered bigger issues. And what does it mean? People talk about, quote unquote, getting back to normal. What if you don't want to go back to normal? What if normal wasn't working for you? And you've kind of had some time to think about that and realize that going forward. I don't think even Doug, maybe could have thought that we'd see this kind of thing from society. I'm surprised. I think a lot of folks, the older you are, probably the more surprised you are. I think, I don't know, man. So I wouldn't just be defined by that, Kari. I think there's a little bit of a change here.
It's not enough of a change. It's not, and then the change that is happening isn't black people coming and saying, "Hey, let's go only black. Let's go and support our black establishments." That's not the change that is coming. The change that is coming is with black people saying, "Hey, when we enter these white spaces, we should be treated with respect." It is not you know what? Let's leave Florida State and go to Florida A&M. Let's leave Florida Atlantic and go to Bethune-Cookman. It is when we're on campus at Florida Atlantic, Florida International, Florida State, Miami, Florida, what have you. You guys need to treat us with respect and listen to the issues that we're trying to present to you. And if you don't, then we'll protest, cause a scene so that people nationally will begin to put pressure on you to take our issues seriously. It is not a let's leave, let's pack up and use the threat of HBCU's collective of institutions and universities that are set up to help empower black people. It is not a movement to go to those places. It is a movement to get more respect from predominantly white institutions and predominantly white environments. So it is different.
Oh, go ahead, TJ.
No, you got it.
I was going to say, I'll put it this way, Peter and TJ. I'll believe it when I see it. When I start seeing the Kennedy Chandlers putting Hampton in their top 5, when I start seeing the Jonathan Lawsons talking about Norfolk State, when I start seeing the Alden Applewhites talking about Mississippi Valley State, that's when I'll start to believe. But at this point, I've seen no evidence that there's any change on this front.
Well, and I think that's only fair. That's only fair to say, you need to see the actual product. You need to see something actually come from that. I think that's definitely true. But I would say, we're too early in the process to be able to have something like that be an expectation right now. I mean, like, within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're talking like there's been a major. I'm not saying it's going to happen for sure or anything like that. I don't know. But I guess what I'm saying is that, to me, I never expected the conditions in the country in general would be as favorable as they are to create that kind of a discussion, that kind of a situation. I never expected, like, when we first started talking, we first broached this issue probably more than a year and a half ago, really.
Right.
Talking about, HBCUs and why would, or other schools, even in the context of smaller schools, forget necessarily just HBCUs, but just other schools in general. What would happen with them? And we all just sort of like said, yeah, it's probably, I mean, it was not even something we could even discuss seriously because it was so outlandish. I think that's changed. I mean, now, again, we'll believe it when we see it, when something actually happens. I'm not saying it's going to be a 5-star. It's not going to be Kennedy Chandler, I don't think. But 4 stars, 3-star, accumulation of 3 stars, maybe. I could see that. In the next 6 months or so, when you have kids that have reprioritized what their college experience is supposed to be all about, maybe it's a different college experience. Maybe you're going to prioritize some different things now all of a sudden. Wait a second, this is more than just my sport and I don't know. I'm curious to see over the next 6 months to a year if the way kids think is going to be changed by all this. I'm not talking about like right at this very moment. I think it's going to take time for all of it to kind of settle in. I could see some changes, especially if some of the coaches from the predominantly white institutions out there are not willing to have these discussions and really make significant changes.
I hope you're right. I don't see it happening. I don't see a kid, a 2-star, 3-star kid, turning down an OVC school to go to like TSU. And TSU is in the OVC. I don't see them turning down an OVC school to go to the MEAC or what's going to be left of the MEAC.
I was like, where's the MEAC?
Good God. Or the SWAC. Like, I just don't see it happening. But that is where it would have to happen, and where first, and that is where it's most likely to happen, where the Western Kentuckys of the world begin to lose recruits to like Kentucky State. That is where it would have to happen first before I would begin to, like Kari, but believe that it's going to happen.
Right, exactly. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Well, I mean, again, we'll have to wait and see on all of this. When's Musa gonna say something?
So Mark Giannotto actually caught up with Musa at a team fat practice not too long ago, and he said that Musa has pushed back his recruitment, and actually, he kind of pushed back on the notion that LSU his mind is set on LSU. From what Mark, wrote, I think the longer this gets pushed back, it seems like it's better for Memphis. I'm not saying that it's going to be Memphis, definitely, but it seems the longer that you give Penny to close, the better chances the Tigers have. It's just my 2 cents on that.
Well, but does it? What is? I mean, I guess LSU and Memphis are equivalent in terms of potentially having some issues hanging over their heads within the NCAA. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Has that been a factor in the discussions that you've heard about Memphis on the trail? Them being the guinea pig for the this independent outlet, and whatever decision comes out from this independent ruling body is going to be unappealable.
I haven't heard anything from Moose's camp. I've heard off the record from a couple of players who are concerned about it, who have discussed it with their parents. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're picking a school, you don't want to end up having what happened to Cade Cunningham happen to you.
That's what I was going to say. Cade Cunningham is in a little bit of a situation here.
I mean, man, the guy picks Oklahoma State and they get slammed. Like, man. Hired his brother and everything, Peter. Now they can't go to the tournament.
I mean, it's tough. It's hard out here. I wonder if he's gonna. be able to do something about that? Can he change? Can he do anything? Is there any move he can make?
He could probably go to the G League.
Yeah, it seems like that might be the only way to. Is his age appropriate? Is he good on that? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know. We got to figure that out. But man, yeah, you're right. So I think other high profile guys are going to have to be extremely sure about what's happening before they make any commitment like that, because that could be troubling. And I'm assuming that Oklahoma State's not going to be kind enough to just kind of let him out of that commitment, even though they're appealing. I don't think they're going to be. No, you go ahead and go. You're an unbelievable player. Go ahead and go somewhere else. That's fine.
Well, I tell you what, if they don't, they're going to wreck their chances with any other top guys going there, because that's just ridiculous. Like,
I agree absolutely, but you know these schools are.
I do know how these schools are. Unfortunately.
You know how these schools are, man. That's why that letter of intent, any of that stuff, man. It's a bit of a one-sided document for sure. Appreciate it, Kari. Thanks, man. We'll talk again next week.
No problem. See you, Peter. See you, CJ.
See you next week, Kari.
That's Kari Thompson, at _ Kari Thompson on Twitter. We're going to get into the discussion about the words, the wordplay. Love a good word discussion. We'll do that when we continue. Again, the best words created or popularized within your lifetime. So those of you that are older, you got a real good advantage.
Mm-hmm.
If we got any 120-year-olds listening, you guys are really going to be in great shape when it comes to this. So we'll do all that when we return from the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 96.1 FM, or 87.7 FM.
Hi, I'm Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. Can anyone explain to me why anyone would care how I measure your roof? We have all heard about measuring your roof from outer space. Well, to be honest, there are aerial pictures that are taken every 4 years that can be used to measure a building, but it's not from outer space. Besides, no one, and I mean no one, can tell you what's wrong with your roof, or even if you need one, by using pictures that might be 4 years old. If you would rather do business with a family-owned and operated business with a lifelong tie to Memphis that refuses to mislead or use gimmicks, please give me a call. Best products, best warranties, and the best customer service we know how to provide. Fiveash Roofing, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Memphis Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Great news, sports fans. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse is now open for dine-in service. Make a reservation and enjoy a mouth-watering steak dinner. Or, if you prefer, take it curbside. In addition to their fantastic steaks, the Butcher Shop Steakhouse has a variety of entrees, including Canadian lobster tail, crab-stuffed shrimp, pan-seared red snapper, and fresh ground steak burger with portobello mushroom sauce. Planning to cook out? The Butcher Shop Steakhouse offers a great selection of hand-cut fresh steaks, lamb chops, Atlantic salmon, and more. Father's Day is coming soon, so make your reservation for dine-in or pre-order for curbside pickup. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, dine-in, curbside, and delivery. Call us at 757-4244 and visit our website, thebutchershop.com, for menus and more. The Butcher Shop Steakhouse, Walnut Grove and Germantown Parkway.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. How old is your water heater? With most of the water heaters in the Mid-South located in the attic, the worst day you can replace your water heater is one day too late. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Most 10-year-old water heaters were about 65% efficient when they were new, compared to a tankless water heater from Conway Services is up to 98% efficient. Plus, right now, get your tankless water heater from Conway Services for as low as $79 per month, or I'll give you $300 for that old tank water heater. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And with over 8,000 5-star reviews, you know Google guaranteed Conway Services will be providing that award-winning service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So the weather is just all over the place lately, right? One day it's hot, and the next day it's windy for a while. It's like, make up your mind already. Drivers who switch to Progressive can save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hi, this is Rob Brown. Join Pete Cordelli and me for Sidelines Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. on Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1 FM. We'll cover the Memphis Tigers, the SEC, recruiting. Hey, if they keep score, we're covering it. Check us out on the website at sports56whbq.com and sidelines.live. Sidelines is brought to you by Duncan Williams Asset Management. Saturday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m. Get up and give us a call.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurts. This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
Hey, and I'm here to make you shout. Glory be to the one who knows what the funk's about, y'all. Man.
Yeah. You all right, CJ?
Yo.
You all right?
Yeah. Why?
Hey, you just look like you're...
Oh, because I'm working over here.
Like, CJ's not moving to the music. He's if you look at all the video he scored, he's sort of like down here like this kind of.
Yeah, I'm putting in work. Trying
What's
to figure
going
out,
on?
Trying to figure out when these words, if they are words, when they became words.
You can't
Like,
you're not going to be able to do that.
Mullet is the one that is throwing me because I think mullet became a word. Like, okay, it's in the dictionary now, and this is the definition. We're talking about the mullet hairstyle, not the fish. I think that happened in '94, and that's why I had that look of determination on my face because if mullet became a word in the '90s, my gosh, that might be it right there for me. That might overtake bling.
Well, first of all, you have to you got to remember words. For those that don't know, we're talking about words. The best word that became popular or it came into existence while you were in your lifetime. That's our topic today on the Wheel of Conversation. But you have to remember with words, man, there is no like people talk about it join the dictionary. The dictionary is not the be all end all of what a word is or isn't.
Well, in this conversation, it is. That's the acknowledgement part when professionals acknowledged it as a word.
Listen, man, you can't. It's so limiting to just let these dictionary people tell you exactly what is or is not a word within the culture. It was it was a word before it was in the dictionary. If just when it gets to the dictionary, that's when it can be like, what I guess you can commemorate or whatever. But there's different dictionaries, different words. I mean, lexicographers are not the ones, the be-all, end-all of this whole thing. Remember that. They're not the ones who get to define every little detail, all that. If y'all wasn't in the dictionary, that doesn't mean it's not a word. I mean, you don't know what it is. A word language is collectively agreed upon. It is not dictated from the top. Language is not we give you the set of words and once you have the basic vocabulary, you get to play around with it, man. And if you are cool enough and influential enough to be able to get a whole bunch of other people to start saying your word, like we talked about with bling, then guess what? Now it's part of the dictionary. That's how this thing works. It's bottom up. It's not top down.
Also, I think it's 03. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. 03. These are the words that were added to the dictionary in addition to bling bling. Jiggy, dope, and fat with a PH.
See, but
that's a good year.
2003.
That's a good year for the.
How long people were saying
words.
fat with a PH for like 15 years prior to that, 20 years prior to that. It was still a word. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't buy this dictionary nonsense. I don't get that the Oxford English Dictionary gets to define what is a. Forget that, man. You define what the word is. Is twerk in that dictionary?
Yeah, twerk is in the dictionary. When twerk got in the dictionary, I don't guess
care.
like 2016.
Yeah, twerk that's a great word. That's a great word that somebody invented that word. Somebody said we got to have a word. How are we going to dictate when you are rhythmically gyrating
like this at all.
Your hips and buttocks in a particularly inviting way? Let's call that twerking.
I'm trying to figure out when twerk got added to the dictionary.
You can't. You are
Peter,
barking up the wrong tree.
Listen, the word twerk, a dance move popularized by singer Miley Cyrus, and I can't get to the rest of the article because I can't get past that phrase. Twerking was twerking popularized by Miley Cyrus? No. Why are we giving her credit for that?
But this is what I'm saying. Where do you even look at it? This is why you don't trust the dictionary people. The lexicographers do not understand particularly culturally significant words. They don't get that. What about the word hater? That came about in my lifetime, and that's become a extremely common and really good word. Very evocative. There's a very specific thing that you think about when you hear the word hater.
Mm-hmm.
It evokes a particular type of dislike that is petty and specific to you. You're a hater because you specifically don't like a particular thing, not because you don't like something or no. It evokes a thought that you are the jerk in the whole thing, which is great. When did it come from? Don't look up the dictionary. Don't tell me when it came. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It is a collectively appreciated word. Therefore, it's a word. I don't need you to approve if it's not. I don't care. I don't care if it's in the dictionary or not. It's a word. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. These dictionary people do not get to define what a word is.
Isn't that what a dictionary is?
No, it is not. It is not. It is not. That is wrong. This is a very important distinction. A dictionary is a collection of words that have been defined previously, but it is not the be-all, end-all of every existing word. You understand what I'm saying? It's a collection of words. It is not the only collection of words.
I have 3 words myself.
What 3 you got?
So
I got 2 words for you. Exactly. Yeah. All right, 3 words.
Okay, so I got flogging.
Oh, yep. Of course. That is a Memphis word.
And straight Memphis word.
Does anybody else say flogging?
No.
Yeah, I think it's a southern slash. I think in other aspects of the South.
Because I've only known Western Tennesseans to say that.
Yeah.
Jackson, Memphis, those type people to say flogging.
But
it's such a good word.
I think it's definitely.
It's such a good word.
Yeah.
Obviously, the staple one is Maine. Maine.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening, Maine?
M-A-N-E.
M-A-N-E, not the one with the I. That is a state. And my personal favorite.
The one with the I is a state?
Maine.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one with the I is a state. M-A-I-N-E.
Spell Maine for me.
The state is M-A-I-N-E.
Okay, I got you.
He's got it. Come on now.
I just had to make sure he had it.
No.
I had to make sure he had it.
Listen, he's got this.
Listen, maps.
I didn't know he had that.
Maps are like my thing. So
this guy knows. I have no doubt he knows. He's got that. No, does he know every little detail? Maybe not, but he knows maps. I got no problem with it. Maine is a great example. Maine's a great word that is you would not see it in the dictionary within the it would be difficult to even define Maine as used in Memphis in the dictionary because it has so many different uses. It can be a specific reference to a person, Maine is in Maine, and I'm referring to you, or it can be just like a start of a sentence, like Maine. I can't believe that's a pause for you to collect your thought in the sentence. To do it's a word that is it does a lot of different things. You can't put that in a dictionary, and you can't tell me it's not a word because it's not in the dictionary because I know it is.
And my personal favorite is junt.
Junt is another good one.
This junt here,
junt is good.
Again, junt. John is one that's the Philadelphia.
Oh,
same thing. A lot of areas have that word that can be sort of it can catch all. It's a catch-all word. Junt can be whatever it needs to be, whatever you need it to be for that particular sentence. Junt can be there.
I know my mom is cringing right now just by those 3 words that I just said.
She'll be okay though.
I think so.
Texter texted in and said crunk. Is
crunk.
a great word.
Crunk,
He
absolutely.
also points out that crunk is a word that originated in Memphis.
And then Atlanta rappers took that and tried to monetize it.
Well, everybody took it and tried to monetize
Yeah, I mean,
it. Everybody did take it and monetize it if you were good.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Again, crunk is a great example. If it came from Memphis, lots of people, and then because it got quote unquote popularized, then it's a word. It was always a word. Crunk's great. Junt, crunk, body. You want to throw that in there?
No.
I think that's a specific mention. That's a specific difference.
I'd throw in slick. Not like slick on the
a new
surface.
definition or the other definition of slick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one like this. Slick
You're
looks like.
slick. Yeah,
It's,
you're slick. This. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Flatfoot. That used to be one.
Sneak dissing.
You flatfoot doing it. I heard that.
Yeah, give me bling though. Bling is it for me. 67129.
67129. The word that you are most. I think hater, man. I think hater's the one.
Hater's a good one.
Hater just evokes so many emotions. I love words that can immediately be very clear and descriptive about what it is that you're referring to. That's the beauty of the English language. We have so many words. We have more words pretty much than just about any other language out there, and they all have slight differences in connotation and in meaning, and just a little shades slightly different if you say one word versus the other. I love all that stuff, man. So
I think I know this is a proper noun, but freaknik, it definitely puts you in it lets you know what's going on.
Certainly. I mean, again,
whatever party it is.
Freak is a whole different, freak just in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's taken on a whole different meaning.
Did that meaning
15, 20
change?
years. Yeah.
In your lifetime?
Absolutely.
In your lifetime?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Freak, as far as like a freak, as in you like to have a lot of fun or like a sexual connotation with freak. Like that wasn't the existing definition. Much like gay. Gay took on a whole different definition. Over the course of its lifetime. There's lots of different words that mean different things. You go back and listen to music or read things from years ago, and it doesn't read the same because we've redefined. Like I said, this is my jam. But words constantly change. That's why dictionaries are merely a snapshot of the existing framework of words, not be all end all. Like that's it. They're just a snapshot of where things are right now. Doesn't mean that's the way they're always going to be. Words are always changing. Uses of words are always changing. That's why you see like people get mad. One of the classic ones that annoys me. People get mad when they say, "Oh, you literally, your head literally blew off." And everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, that's not what literally means." It is what literally means. Look in the dictionary now. Look it up. Literally has been defined as, quote unquote, figuratively now for so long that it's actually in the dictionary, as literally means both in a literal sense, but then also you'll see the definition B is actually not in a literal sense, but in to exaggerate a story or to we get to define what words are. And words are democratic, man. You get to define. You get to make that call. I'm not telling you nothing. 67129. Sexting. I see. There's one.
Sexting is there's a lot of that.
But see, that's
cyber sex is up there also.
These are. But this is. Are we talking about like a portmanteau here? Because that's a portmanteau.
Who?
A portmanteau.
A poor man's toe?
Not a poor man's toe.
What's a poor man's toe?
A portmanteau is one word combining two other words. Like sext texting becomes sexting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a portmanteau. When you smash them together like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's called that's a mansplain. Man-explain is mansplain is a portmanteau.
Hand sanitizer, hanitizer.
Hanitizer,
okay.
Exactly right.
Gotcha.
Right. Mankini.
Okay.
Stuff like chillax. There you go. Like
bromance can be
bromance.
Yeah, there you go.
Look at you.
Yep, you're smashing them. That's a portmanteau. So are we talking about those? Or are we talking about just flat out new words?
If they become words, that's fine.
Okay.
Because sexting hadn't existed as a word before 2000 something.
The word I like I cannot say on the air.
Ooh,
but I see it for I can tell you that it's effery.
Oh,
I think that evokes a very specific type of behavior. Like you are manipulating the system. What, is that another, I see there's some more effery going. Like that tells you, I like words that are very clear as to what, that that evokes a very specific type of chicanery and messing about. That is, yes, that you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say it like that.
I got to throw in stunners. I need to throw in stunners.
As in number one stunners?
No, the stunner shade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw it in.
So many words.
Stunting is another one.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't have the same meaning 30 years ago. Great topic. Man. Let's go on this one forever. Love it. We'll take that break.
What
is that? What is
Got
that?
an interesting text over here.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Is it legit interesting?
Yeah, it's legit
or
interesting.
Is it like
we'll
interesting?
Get to it's interesting. We'll get to it.
Okay. We're gonna get to that as we wrap it up here at the Family Leisure Studios. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, 87.7.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Commitment. Dedication. Perseverance. At FedEx, our people are our strength. Even during these unprecedented times, we are delivering medical supplies, test kits, and the things you need every day. Helping the world move forward together. Strength, what we deliver by delivering. FedEx.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Hi, it's The Herd. 66% of dudes start to lose their hair by the age of 35. Start noticing thinning hair? Probably too late. Lucky for you, it's 2020. Medicine and science can help you do something about it. Hims basically helps guys be the best version of themselves. FDA-approved products. The best part? You don't have to meet with a doctor in person. Couple of questions online, 4 or 5. A licensed physician reviews it and determines if a prescription's right for you. I recommend it. Check them out before it's too late. My listeners can get started. First month free. How's that? Go to 4hims.com/Colin. Prescriptions do require an online consultation. Doesn't take very long. A physician's there, man or woman, determines if this prescription is appropriate for you. Most will be. Offer valid only if prescribed. 3-month minimum subscription. Additional restrictions do apply. Check out the website. It's got all the details and all the safety information. Check it out, guys. FDA-approved products. forhims.com/COLIN.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Oh, whale! Guys, whale! Wow, whale. Oh, that's a big whale. Okay. Whale. Oh, no, whale!
The tides can turn quick on the water. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Get a quote today in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com.
Well, at least it wasn't a shark, am I right?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and CJ Hurt. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Here once again are Peter and CJ.
So a couple of texts on the First Bank text line. One texter says, flex it.
Oh,
flex
yeah.
it.
Flex on them. Yep.
This text, I'm going to read it, and then we can break this thing down a couple of times.
What you just said there. That's a great
correct,
word.
correct.
You
got to throw in everybody, come on, Maine. And that is gotta, G-O-T-T-A, everybody, come on, is C''M-O-N, Maine. Like, all of those are beautiful to me, except for everybody.
Why is everybody not beautiful to you?
I don't know. I see it all the time. Do I have a towel? I feel like I have a towel with the everybody on there. I got to have one of those.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I got to have one of those.
They have one of those. I love it. He's exact. But see, this is the thing. Again, when the everybody evokes a different thing than everybody. That's why it deserves to be mentioning. There's all these little fractional differences between adjectives in our language. Do we need all those words? No, probably not. We could probably get by, but they mean certain little things. They connote certain different little fractional differences, and that's important. Everybody connotes a slightly different thing than everybody, especially if you're from Memphis. So that's why it's there. If you add Maine to the beginning of your sentence or the end of your sentence, did you need that? No, but the fact that it's there is telling. It's an indicator. It means something. Mm-hmm. It's a place marker of who you are and your brain working to get. We have all these little placeholder words while our brain is forming the sentence, and while we're in the middle of a discussion. Speech is such a complicated thing. Talking to people is such a complicated thing. You're like finishing the end of a sentence while you've started another. It's crazy how your brain makes it work. But sometimes we have these little things like Maine that, come on, Maine, like that lets your brain take a moment to stop and synthesize everything. That's great. We need that. Love that. And I love the fact that they're all indicative of where you're from. That's one of the downsides of us all being so connected is that the colloquialisms of a particular regional dialects are kind of out of not as big of a thing now because everyone kind of is connected. So the language becomes more homogenized across all these different regions. So that's a little bit of a bummer, I suppose, but. I don't know. By and large, it's great. I love that little stuff, man.
It's cool. Like getting around. One of the things I thought was wild was when I was at Tuskegee was kicking it with a bunch of dudes from New Orleans and just hearing them talk back and forth with one another. Mm-hmm. That you understands the you hear like all of that. Just every other word was you understand. Like yes, I do understand. You don't have to keep asking me that.
Know what I'm saying?
No.
Like
you all heard
that
thing, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Like man,
but that's how your brain. That's how you gotta. You feel me. You know what I'm saying? There's people throw that in. Da-da-da, you feel me? Da-da-da, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got to, you have to do things to talk. Talking is hard. And you have to do things to sort out the words in your brain to have them make any sense. And if you don't, then, sometimes they don't make a lot of sense. We got to get out of here. CJ just out. that quick.
I'm ready for the weekend, man.
I can see it. Jeez, Louise, I didn't know. I thought I didn't say Bayern. CJ's ready for the weekend. We are too. Those of you at work, you got a few more hours left to go. Of course, middays coming up next here in the Family Leisure Studios. Everybody, have yourself a happy and safe weekend. We'll chat on Monday.